Okay.
Right. Here we go. That's closed. That's closed.
I can screen share. That's nice. Yeah, so this one is more practice. So if we need to stop to like fix a few things, we can do that. All right. Hopefully there's nothing broken, but let's be honest, there will be. I
What?
was saying hopefully there's nothing broken, but let's be honest, of course there will be. All right, so I'm assuming you, since they're gonna know you more, it's probably gonna be you who can invite them. And since you're the one giving the course, I guess it would make sense if you begin.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
I was asking who should begin the webinar.
Oh, um, we should just do like a who's on first routine every time. It's like, wait, I thought you were starting. Wait, I thought you were starting.
Or we like jump back and forth. But if you could reach millions of qualified prospects for free,
Yeah, there you go.
just like really annoy people.
All
Or it's
right.
like one people reads everything, the other person reads whatever's underlined. It's like, what if you could reach millions of qualified prospects for free in only 5 minutes per day? uh,
We should like
I
count
think it
the.
makes more sense if you begin, since you're kind of more the face of this course, so it makes more sense.
All right, sounds good. All right. Hey guys, just wanted to welcome you here. We're super excited about this presentation. This is the first time we've done it, but we have a big question we want to ask you. So if you're interested in what we're talking about at all, let's think about this. What if you could reach millions of qualified prospects for free in only 5 minutes per day? Now, if you were wondering I was counting like the ellipses, just
I was wondering, I'm like, am I supposed to say something? So yeah, what I'll do is I'll like run the entire presentation like the next slide. So it's like whenever you're done, like I'll
Mhm.
just move to the next one.
Sounds good. Okay. So we all have businesses. We're all trying to grow our businesses. You know, you need to get clients. You need to get leads. So if you could get in front of millions of prospects in 5 minutes a day, let me just blow your mind. Um, you don't have to. The thing that actually makes money is different than having a huge audience. All you need is a 5 minute Facebook group. Now, we're going to spend a lot of this presentation explaining and helping you understand what a 5 minute Facebook group is, how we define that, why a 5 minute Facebook group is different than a traditional Facebook group community, like what makes that special. But before we begin, I'm going to ask you three simple questions. So get ready. We're gonna talk about who is this for. So if you're an entrepreneur, especially overwhelmed entrepreneurs, if you're growing an online business, if you're growing a coaching business, if you have an established business and you're transitioning to doing business online, if you're a coach, an expert, if you've got a high ticket program, this is going to be a great webinar for you. If you're somebody who wants to build an engaged community, anyone who wants to build an engaged community, we're going to talk about that. Anyone who wants to, who already has a community, but wants to grow and monetize it, this is going to be for you. If you want a consistent flow of clients, this is what we're going to be talking about today. And if you want to make positive impact on the world, those are the kinds of people that we want to be working with. So if you want to work less and still earn more, this will be a great presentation for you because that's what we're going to talk about. That's what we're going to share. So if that's you, if you want to expand your business without getting overwhelmed, I don't know how many bullet points there are of these. Anybody who wants to simplify their business, still be able to pay the bills. Basically, if you're a human being, this is for you. So sorry, there's no aliens allowed. Oh, all right. The aliens are allowed too. I guess we made that change this morning.
What we can do, if you want, in the beginning of the presentation, just mention like, I'm going to be the one running the slides. So basically, I control what you do or do not say. So it's like we can kind of like make a joke of that. So then if the timing isn't perfect, they're like, oh, okay, it's fine. Like you're just, having fun.
Yeah. I'm already bored in terms of like as an audience member watching this, like I feel like I'd rather have some interaction between the two of us. Like I'm seeing you, it's like why aren't you talking?
All right. So how should we do this then?
So you can read one, I can read one, and
Okay.
it doesn't have to be super. So like we can jump right in. It's like, all right, so if you signed up for this webinar, we asked the question, what if we could get you in front of millions of prospects for your business? So if you're asking yourself that question, it's because you want to get more customers in your business. And you think scaling, getting in front of more people is what you need to do, but you don't have to. So we're going to talk about a 5-minute Facebook group. But first, we've got 3 simple questions. So the first is, who is this for? So Guillaume, who's this for?
What if we have fun with it of like, all right, let's like, who is this for? It's like, okay, you go first. But it's
All
like,
right.
this is a race. Like, let's do this as quickly as we can. Like, all right, who's this for? Your turn.
Okay. Entrepreneurs, especially overwhelmed ones.
All right, coaches, experts, especially high ticket tag clients or experts. Yeah, we need to practice this.
Yeah, I would just literally read what's on the slide because like that's what the people who are making like the guys that make lots of money, they just read what's on the slide. And so I don't think we need to.
Or what if we just have fun with it? It's like, it's like your turn. We read it however we want. It's like coaches and experts, especially ones charging high ticket, and just like go whatever the hell we want, like just to make it more interesting. Anyway, we already did this, so we don't need to go back again, but
Okay.
I think that would be fun, just like switching back and forth and just like being our weird normal selves. All right, so question number 2. What will
All right.
you learn?
Yeah, so we're going to talk about how to reach millions of qualified prospects, but we're also going to talk about why you probably should.
And how to work less and earn more. That is definitely one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, we're going to talk about how to fire overwhelm from your business once and for all.
And how to grow an engaged community of ideal customers and hungry buyers. And I'm not talking about, hey, they haven't eaten breakfast and they're like hangry. I'm talking about hungry for business.
Yeah, we're going to talk about how to stop working hard and start working fun. So this is something that I've heard people talk about. It's like having fun in their business is important to them. And that's something that we believe and that we do all the time. Hence why this is a less than professional presentation. So if you're not down for fun, this might not be for you.
Yeah, if you don't like to be happy, I'm sorry, but you could leave. So how to become business best friend or best friends with your business so it grows itself for you.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one to really explore. We're going to talk about how to do a standing backflip, even if you weigh 300 pounds and if you haven't left your bed in 3 months. Oh, wait, I think that's from our other presentation.
Oops, my bad. And much, or, a little less, more.
All right. So one of the above statements is a lie. Can you guess which one?
Let me give you a hint. It's the much more. That's the lie. There's nothing more.
All right. So what do we need from you? We're not charging money for this presentation, but it's not free. We do want your participation. We want your feedback. We want your attention. So we'd love to have your undivided attention. What I've found when I'm going through presentations is I get a lot more out of it when I have less distractions, when I'm able to really engage with what's happening. So if this is something that you feel like could help you and you want to give yourself the best shot at getting the most from this presentation, just put your phone on do not disturb, maybe minimize your browser, just eliminate all the distractions. If you're in the
It's funny because
office,
literally,
you're
as you were
home.
saying that, I got a notification on my phone. I'm like, what's the notification?
There you go. So yeah, put those phones on silent, maybe turn them off. I hear people say this all the time. I kind of roll my eyes when people say that at the beginning of the presentation, but I guarantee you the ones that I didn't do that, like something pulled me away and I just never finished it. So if this is something you're interested in hearing, would love to give you that opportunity right now to kind of clear the space and give yourself some opportunity to really engage and hear what we're saying.
Also, try to treat the next, oops, sorry, I pressed it back. Try to treat the next 90 minutes as if it was a private consultation. Because if you were to hire us to teach you these principles, we would charge you $997 for a 60-minute call. Well, Aaron would, because he's the expert. I would still charge you. I'm just not the expert when it comes to this.
Yeah, and just so you know, Guillaume is an expert in the teaching. Like I've had a lot of experience teaching and synthesizing ideas down to something simple. Guillaume has a ton of experience that we're going to get into how that's relevant. But yeah, we just want you to have fun. This is something, we've all been on webinar presentations and it's like designed to sell something. It's designed to teach something. But we want this to be a good time. We want you to enjoy yourselves. This is live, so you have the opportunity to ask questions. We'll have places where you can ask questions. So if you have something you want to ask, go ahead and write it down. We'll make sure we'll give you some space to ask those. And if you've already figured it out, we don't take ourselves too seriously, so just kind of sit back, enjoy the ride. Also,
Yeah, before we keep going, I just want to add a comment. What Aaron just said is not true. I removed all the questions because I don't like questions. So I'm just kidding. So also, if at any moment you feel unwell, just post help me in the comments, and one of us will hop on a direct flight to wherever you are and hand you our designer reduce overwhelm in 3 simple heaves barf bag. Patent still pending.
So product validation idea. If anybody actually wanted us to do that,
Oh yeah, we totally do it.
raise your hand. Yeah, well, we can have those made and
Can I raise
send
my
out tomorrow.
hand?
All right. So
That's
does
it.
that sound good? We're gonna try to do this in 90 minutes or less. I'm excited about this. What about you, Guillaume?
Oh no, I hate every single step of this. All right, so we have a bonus. Who are we? You're probably wondering. Well, you probably know Aaron. You're probably wondering who the hell I am. So this is Aaron. And oops, and I went back. So that's not Aaron anymore. This is Aaron again. And this is me. And together we are. Aaron, that's your cue.
Business best friends.
So let's just go back to Aaron quickly. So Aaron has helped clients grow their audience from 400 to 4 million. He's helped clients perform $200,000 launches or $2,000 plus launches. I like how you get
That was
impressed with
me.
your own accomplishments.
It's weird seeing it like in print.
I know, right?
It looks more like impressive
Professional.
that way. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's just stuff I've done. I'm like,
Yeah.
whatever. It like we'll talk about this in the presentation, but it's
All right.
like
Well, let's keep impressing you. So you helped client reach millions of viewers on YouTube,
that's
helped
true.
15,000 plus communities.
Hmm.
You were featured on NBC, CBS, and international networks. And most important of all, you ate a bug.
That was a delicious bug, and that one is true. Like a joke. I mean, it is a joke, but it's also true. It was
That's the best kind of joke,
a
the true
beetle.
ones.
I'm pretty sure we have a recording of that.
Wait,
maybe.
like a recording of you talking about it, yes, but I don't think you have a recording of you actually doing it.
Oh, really?
I
Or
mean, maybe, I don't know. If
we
so, I've
may,
never
we
seen it.
maybe. Okay.
If you have it, we need to insert it in this webinar.
I could just eat another bug.
Sure.
I'll have an ant salad or something. So Guillaume is one of my good friends, but he's published 7 books. He's hundreds of short stories. He has impressively, as an author, been read by 7 million, more than 7 million people. He ran an ultra marathon with almost no training. That is a crazy story. We'll have to get to that sometime, but for this webinar, we probably won't be able to share that. He sold everything he owned to travel the world, and he's in very real way, like he's living the dream. A lot of people would like to have the kind of freedom that Guillaume has, and it's totally possible. Like it, being able to shift into the space where anything that you want to try to do is possible, including growing your business, having time and financial freedom. So yeah, it's just I feel super uh, grateful to be able to do this with Guillaume. And he almost died doing something stupid twice.
Yeah, I just
I
don't
almost
learn.
died. I almost died doing something stupid once. But
Ha, beat you. I win.
so that's why you get the blurb and not me. You've actually got more credits on that than hey, Guillaume came up with most of the jokes for this webinar, including this one. So if you don't like the jokes, if you don't like the way that we do this, just blame him.
Yeah, I'm okay with that since, I did write this joke, so it's my own fault. All right. So as we mentioned before, together we're business best friends. So that is just, it took us a long time to get here, but it was totally worth it. So if we can just share the story of how that happened, that'll give you a better idea of exactly why we're doing this.
So the way that we became business best friends is Guillaume built a funnel, and I was scrolling, and our pictures went like this, and I sent him a picture saying, "Look, we're business best friends." Actually, that happened after, but the way that we became business best friends is through the Soul family. We had a long story short, we had a group of friends who were business owners, and we had a mastermind which kind of fizzled. We weren't sure why it wasn't working, but we had a big group of people who said they were committed to growing their business and it just didn't go anywhere. But there was 4 of us who did connect out of that group, and we kind of took a left turn and said, hey, there's something coming up as we're in this season right now. And all 4 of us had independently recognized in our own lives, we were asking the question, like, what does it mean to have integrity? What does it mean to step into uh, a level of living where I am working on doing the things that I say that I am doing? I'm more honest with myself. I'm more honest with the people around me. And that was something that all of us had recognized we wanted to really get to know. So we had this group, this little mini mastermind that began meeting every day, every weekday, and we went 6 weeks or just a little over. We did a 6 week challenge of meeting every single day. Um, I don't remember if it was more than a month. I mean, more than 2 months was it? But it was
That we're meeting every day or that we did the challenge?
that we did the challenge
The challenge
because
or
we
the
ended
30
up
day challenge?
continuing to meet regularly for quite some time
Oh, yeah.
after the
That was,
challenge was done. But yeah, we did the challenge for, was it 30 days or
yeah, it
six
was a
weeks?
30-day challenge, but I forget how long we kept meeting after that.
Hmm. Yeah, it was, we'll have to look that up when we actually finish.
Actually, knowing us, every single time we do this presentation, we need to look that up and we're never going to look it up.
Well, I think it's important that we do look it up, just in terms of like the type of people that we're talking to. Having some amount of certainty is going to reduce the
True.
amount of overwhelm with like
Yeah.
part of the authority builder is like when you say something, say this is true. like there's not a lot of wiggle room here, and being able to
Well,
do that
we can
for
just say like
people.
we did a 30-day challenge and we kept meeting regularly for
Mhm.
multiple months after
Okay,
that.
that's cool.
So I'm just going to show you the rest of the present of this slide. So it's like,
Okay.
everyone appears one by one. So it's like you
Mhm.
first, and then like you met me, and then the other
Mhm.
two introduced them. And then
Mhm.
once we get to the point where you like talk about the soul family, that appears. And
Okay.
then at the end, once we're like, and that's how we like became business best friends, like that last one appears. So
Mhm.
that's kind of like the order we can go through as we're telling the story.
Gotcha. Okay, so Guillaume and I met, and then I met Jessica in a call where quite a few of us were together on a call, and then we were joined by Bobby, who was part of our Soul Family Integrity Challenge, and then that sort of became its own thing. The Soul Family was a regular kind of good chunk of our lives last year, and then it was sort of in that micro community that we established that we really got to know each other very well and became business best friends. We Out of that we built a friendship and continued to meet, continue to call each other, and then this year we said, hey, we need to do something together. We need to put something. Um, so that's what this is.
I'm just wondering, should we, like, how specific should we get? Because the whole point of this is kind of, sorry, let me go back. So it's sharing the experience of like, you know, you met me and then like we created a
Hmm.
mastermind with these two other people and then like it evolved into something different, more than just something for business. It's like we became a family, and it's like that's how we realized like that's what a real good community is. It's getting to the
Hmm.
point where you consider the members as part of your family,
Yeah.
not as just like, oh, well, I'm doing this because it's going to help my business.
Hmm. So this is an introduction to how we met. What comes after this?
After this, it's just like us like telling these are all the things we struggle with over the years.
Hmm.
And then like this is our life now. And it's
Hmm.
like, how is that possible? Well, that's what we're going to tell you about. And then we present the three secrets. So this is really the origin story of like how we, well, yes, how we became business best friend, but also like how we discovered the power of community. And we realized like, okay, it doesn't need to be a huge community because we're just four.
Hmm.
And it's like community well done is about quality, not quantity. So I think like that's
Okay.
what we're really trying to express with this story.
Hmm. All right. So, and the slide just before this is what?
It was just like introducing us. So it's like,
Business.
before it's like mini introduction of like
Hmm.
who we are. So it's like you, me, and then together with business best friends. So it's like we
Hmm.
introduce you,
Hmm.
introduce me, and then like, hey, like if we're business best friends, so like let us tell you the story of how that happened. And then we
Yeah.
explain the soul family. It's like that's how we discovered the power of community, but it also led to us, becoming best friends and building this business together. And it's
Hmm.
like that's what can happen when you have a true like quality community.
All right. So yeah, for I'll probably start the story then on the slide just before this. When it says like it took a long, like, this is the story of how I became business best friends. We'll start here. So this will be like, so when we met in a Facebook group, and Guillaume invited me to a call with some other people that he had gotten to know. So all of us had an existing business that we were interested in growing, and we started meeting, and the idea was we were gonna support each other, help each other learn things that we had each done in our businesses. And that group never quite gelled. And I don't know what it was like for you, Guillaume, but it was like I was excited going into it, thinking I was going to collaborate with people, thinking I was going to connect with people. And it just felt like it never quite got off the ground. It felt kind of awkward with some of the people. Like it wasn't clear what everybody's goals were. And it was like, it was a great idea, but for whatever reason, it just didn't quite come together. And so it was in this process where we had we had said we're interested in learning how to grow our businesses. We're interested in networking and getting connected with other people who are doing this too. But for some reason, something was missing, and we weren't really sure what it was. But Guillaume and I started talking regularly. We started going. I started going on these long walks, and I would call Guillaume, and we would just talk about whatever was on our mind, whatever we were interested in, and it was usually stupid stuff, like the kind that like the kind of silly stuff that we did at the beginning of this presentation. Like that's a little bit of kind of like what we're like when we hang out together. I mean, it's a little bit, you know, constructed and performance, but like if you watch any of our like we did a couple seasons of just random streaming our walks, and like we have a YouTube channel that is just sort of a daily journal of what we're thinking about and processing through. If you happen to watch those, it's probably just nonsense to most people. It's us just being ourselves and being silly. Um, but it was on those calls that we really got to know each other well, and we both realized that we're interested in um, understanding the idea of integrity. For me, the reason I was interested in it is I was finding like I had these big goals, these big dreams of what I wanted to do, but I didn't know how to do them. And I was finding I was reaching kind of the limitations of what I was able to do. I would say I was going to do something, and then if it didn't go on the calendar, I would forget. I wouldn't follow through. There was there was a lot of things that I recognized about myself that was needed some polishing in terms of being the kind of person who said I'm going to do something and it happened, and just learning how to build up those areas in my life that needed more integrity. And so Guillaume mentioned, hey, that's something that I've been thinking about a lot too. Let's just bounce it off a couple other people in the group. And so we put it out there, and it turned out that there was Jessica and Bobby. They also really resonated with this idea. They had independently come to the conclusion that this was a stage of their life where they were really asking themselves, what does it mean to have integrity? So the four of us decided to commit to meeting every weekday uh, for a month. We had a 30-day integrity challenge, and because we were meeting mostly just on weekdays, it it ended up being a little bit longer than a month. But it was like 30 days of meeting regularly, and so I think that's what it was. It was like 30-day challenge, and
Mm.
since we were pretty much just meeting like Monday through Friday, unless somebody had to miss. Like it ended up going just a little over I think it was almost 6 weeks. So the that's why I had the 6 weeks in my head because it was like I knew kind of like roughly the dates, but I had forgotten that it was like we were counting the days of like when had we met for 30 days. Um, but yeah, it was in that group that in um, we had met and wanted to work on our businesses, but when we started really working on ourselves and started being um, involved in each other's lives and hearing, here's what I'm really going through, here's what's actually happening in my like my inner world, my thoughts and my feelings and what's happening with my family and my personal life, we really started to bond in that space. we really started to empathize and care for each other and recognize all of the ways that we were all the same. Uh, with four different people, we had four different personalities. Each person it had kind of their own unique thing. We're not the four of us were all pretty distinct. We didn't have a lot of like very, very similar personalities or temperaments. Like Jessica is a very driven, hardworking type person. Bobby is very much sort of like kind of a philosophical guru type person. He sort of like lives in that sort of theoretical space where anything is possible, and it all is possible for him. He's a very interesting guy. Guillaume is a highly creative, he's a writer, but he's somebody who takes lots of action. And I'm somebody who is like, I love ideas, I love feelings, I love story, and I like experiencing that more than I often do that, you know, putting it into practice. And so go ahead.
I just realized something. We created like an entity with the four of us, and it's like we each have a different part. So it's like I'm the body, that's what takes action. You're the
Mhm.
heart, Jessica is the mind, and Bobby is the soul.
Mm. There you go. So that's the soul family. It's like multiple parts. Each person kind of played that role in the meeting. And we would just kind of dump, you know, here's what I went through today, here's what I was processing. And sometimes one person would kind of process and talk through, and the other people would observe and kind of give feedback on, well, here's what I'm hearing, here's what I'm feeling and understanding you say. And then other times we would have discussions on like a particular topic or something that we were thinking about, and we would kind of bounce around the room and we would just really explore, you know, different aspects of integrity and what does it mean to align your behaviors with the values that you have. So that's how the soul family kind of got to know each other. But it was through that community experience that Guillaume and I really started to understand that we both are very similar in terms of our sense of humor, in terms of the way that we create things. So we kind of realized that we're sort of business best friends. We both have an interest in the business marketing part of uh, creativity, and so it's something that we just kind of end up talking about all the time whenever we hang out. So we realized we needed to do something with that to make it useful and valuable to not just us but to other people. So that's how we became business best friends. It was through this experience where we had this deep, intimate community experience. And it was funny because when we had set the intention to grow our businesses, um, it sort of fizzled. When we all realized like, hey, we all share this same value. Let's talk about that. Let's connect over that shared value. Community just automatically happened. But it was kind of the first time most of us had really experienced a deep, like a real community experience. Like I've been involved in church. I've helped facilitate small groups, and you know, I've watched communities be built. I've helped lead a lot of teams, but this was something where people were authentic, honest, intimate. We talked we talked about a lot of like the entire range of emotion. Like we went through some very painful experiences together as a group, some really incredible transformational um, highlights for every single person in the group. Um, it was just a very incredible uh, change process for all of us. And we kind of went through that together. And it's something that left a huge impression on us. We realized that community is something that is missing from almost every aspect of like our societal building blocks. The nuclear family is not a given anymore. Sometimes families work, and other times families just are not like. There's lots and lots of people who just don't love or get along with their family. It's not that important to them. Our school systems, our church systems, those are not necessarily great places. Like they're not a guarantee to find a support system and a network where you can thrive. What we've seen is that as a culture, um, we've forgotten how to build community. And when you experience it, it's kind of like getting to be able to breathe again. You're like, oh, this is what a huge part of life is about, is being connected to other people. And I think a lot of us recognized or had some sense that we were missing that over the last few years with the global pandemic. We can say and kind of articulate these sort of low resolution ideas like, yeah, we need to be more connected to each other. Yeah, we're missing community. But what does that really mean? You don't really fully know what you're missing until you've experienced it. And we had this really sort of life-changing moment with community that brought us together, but it's become a big part of what we're building into our program.
Yeah, and I just want to add quickly something to that. What I discovered, especially with this type of community, is it's completely different than normal communities. Because normal communities, if it's like there's thousands or hundreds of thousands or sometimes millions of people in a community, you're like, wow, that is so cool. But if the person in charge of the community decides to shut down the community, everything just goes away. Whereas this, we started off like we had a group, a Facebook group for the mastermind, but that eventually ended up dying out. Yet, even though there was no place for us to connect anymore, the audience itself was gone, we're all still interconnected. And it's like that can't happen when you have like huge audiences that are super impersonal. Whereas this, like, it doesn't matter what happens, you're always going to be connected.
Yeah, so a 5-minute Facebook group is does use a Facebook group as the technology to gather people. But what we're really trying to show and teach is how to set up the ability for real connection to happen organically inside of your business. And so if people are intimately connected to you, to your philosophy, what you believe, and what you do, what you change for people, uh, they're going to have a lot different relationship to you and what you do in your business than they will with most people. If they find and connect with individuals in your community, inside of your Facebook group, inside of your business, like they're going to have a reason to keep coming back. They're going to have people who are centered on the same values and aligned around the things that are important to them. That's going to keep them coming back to your group and to your community. And that's the thing that really makes money. The money is all in the follow up. Your business thrives not in the first time somebody hears from you, not in the second or third time, but like, 90 days from now when they realize, oh, I finally realize I have this problem. I'm ready to solve it. When, a year from now, something in their life has changed. They were fine. They didn't need help before. And now they're in a position where they do need help. And if your business, if your Facebook group is the place where they've found true connection, this is going to be the first place that they go to for help. So we would love to see more businesses, more people, more coaches online actively cultivating real community connection as a part of the culture of their business and of their Facebook group. And that's what we're wanting to show you how to do. Um, so
I like everything you said. I just feel like we need to condense that because we can't spend like 20 minutes on one story. So I think that's just going to come naturally with practice. I just feel like this first like couple runs is going to take like forever, and we're like, okay, we can't do a 3-hour webinar. So yeah, after this, I'm just wondering because the next one is like, this makes it seem like everything just happened magically and it was amazing, but no, we
Mhm.
struggled a lot to get there. And since you were telling the story before, does it make more sense if my slide comes first? So it's like you finish the story. I'm like, okay, it seems like it was all easy, but it was actually really hard. Here's everything I went through, and then we switch back to you. Or do we just always make you first? And I don't know which makes more sense.
Mm. Oh, I don't think it matters like what order we go in. I'm trying to connect what you said about the last. So obviously we need to condense and shorten it, but was there
Yeah.
a point you were trying to make about? So that was how we experienced um, the difference of community.
Hmm.
Uh, and so what you're saying is like just because we had that experience doesn't mean it was like we didn't have that one experience and it's like all perfect. It's like that's the only thing that we've ever seen. It's like we know the value of that because we've done all this other stuff. We've done it the hard way.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like we're sharing this story because that's how we discovered the true power of community. It's like
Hmm.
it took us a long time to get there. It's like, I had to go through all these things and
Hmm.
way more. It's kind of like to show, it's like, yeah, okay, it can be this simple, but in order to get there and gain that understanding, it took us a
Hmm.
lot of work. So anyway, we can keep going from here if you want. Or was there something you wanted to like figure out?
Well, in the grand scheme of things, like the big domino is trying to help people understand that 5 minute Facebook groups has community built into it. It's different than just a typical um, like open a group and post your offer kind of thing. But
Hmm.
what people are here for is like, I want to grow my business. I want to do that. I want to get clients without overwhelm. So this is showing you like we need to set up how that community experience relates to a business.
I
Like
think this is
what
it.
are the behaviors of that group that they want in their business? Like,
Well, I
um,
don't know if we need to, like, when we're teaching, yes, of course, but in the presentation, I don't think we need to cover that. It's more like we tell the story and it's like, that's where we discover the power of community. And that's what we want to help you do.
mhm,
Create this for other people, for your community,
mhm,
instead of having like, huge group that is completely impersonal and no one really cares about anyone.
mhm.
So it's not just
I,
about like teaching like, hey, this is a story, have we discovered the power of community? It's like, yes, but at the
yeah.
same time, this is what we're offering you. We're offering you the ability to create that for your audience. Just like that could be it. It's like we tell the story and it's like that's why we're creating this to teach you how to do this for yourself, for your own community, so you can give this gift to your community. And then it's like, yeah, but we had to work really hard to get there, and
Um,
that's the next slide.
okay, I think it's simpler than that.
Okay.
I think what we need to be pitching is we're teaching this course, but we're giving you the bare minimum of what you need to get your business up and running so that you have the bandwidth to experience community. What we're going to be doing in this course that's different than most courses is we're facilitating a real community experience. Like you're going to build your business with other people, but we're
Hmm.
all we're hoping to put you together with other people that you gel with, that you find those business best friends, those partnerships, those people that you know you meet because you want to grow your business, but then you find out like
Okay.
my kid's in the hospital and you can actually talk about that with somebody who gives a crap. Like that's what that's what this That's what makes this program different. If you
Yeah.
want to reduce the overwhelm, you have to do it with other people. That's the only way around it. And the reason that we all had a transformative experience in the mastermind is because every single one of us through that 30-day period, through that 6 weeks, like had multiple things because we were asking for this. We were saying, what do we need to grow and expand? And of course, life throws you shit when you ask that. It's like, I'm going to put you through the ringer, and we had to like sit and go through that space of, oh man, if I really want to have integrity, I need to step up in my life. It's painful, it's difficult, it's hard. You don't avoid those things. And so having other people to process that with was what made it bearable, was what made it rewarding, what made it not overwhelming and feeling like I'm just gonna go kill myself. I'm gonna stop working on my business. I'm gonna give up on my dreams. I'm gonna say I give up on the like whatever this challenge is, this thing. Like I would have thrown in the towel multiple times if I wasn't doing it with other people and meeting with people that I cared about and that I knew were gonna ask me, "Hey, where are you?"
I think you're right, but I think we don't need to talk about this now. It's later on in the webinar as we're starting like transitioning to the selling. It's like there's a slide, why are we doing this? I think this is where we need to explain that. Because in here, it's just like we're sharing the story. It's like it's
Mhm,
showing how we discovered the power of this type of community so they
mhm,
understand. And then it's like, hey, but it took us a long time to get there and to figure
mhm,
that out.
mhm,
And we just go and it's like later on, it's like we explain why did we do this? Well, remember in the beginning, we want to teach you how to be able to do that, how to be able to
mhm.
help people and create what we discovered for your own community and have that support from them and for them.
I gotcha. Okay. So, so if I'm understanding, it's like we're really just trying to introduce how we met. We're talking about a great community experience
Yeah.
on the way to saying, and if you're overwhelmed in your business, we understand what that feels like. We've done things the hard way too. So it's like we're we're opening it. This is the Chekhov's gun. It's like we're gonna come back to this. You don't need to know that we're gonna come back to this until we come back to it.
Yeah, and we can mention briefly, it's like we became business best friends, and it's like we realized the true power of community, and that's what we based our entire business around. And just like
Mm,
mention it like that in one sentence. So it's like, okay, they know that's what we're talking about, but we don't
mm,
say anything about it. And then it's like, but it took us a long time to get there, and we had to go through this the hard way. And then we just
okay,
present that. And then later on, once we introduce it, we already teased that we would be talking about that. It's like, that is what our business is.
gotcha.
All right, so should we keep going? All
Yeah,
right,
I think I
so
understand the function of what that
yeah, so kind of
plays.
yeah, end with business best friends, and it's like we discover the power of community. That's what we decided to build our entire business around. But it
Mm,
took us a long time to get there, and this is all the
mm,
crap we had to go through in order to get
yeah.
there.
So in the process of trying to grow my business, I was working 80 plus hours a week. I was working a full-time job. I was working another 30, 40 hours a week on average. And this was something I measured on a calendar. Like I was calculating my time every single week, and seeing like this, like those hours were racking up. It was exhausting. I was waking up at 4 a.m. for more than 4 months, making business calls, getting on mastermind meetings. Um, I was grinding. I was doing the hustle, and I still didn't get any results. Ended up, I lived in a shoebox apartment. I was paying down over $80,000 of student loans from my wife's graduate program. I started multiple businesses that crashed and burned. Um, moved back in with my parents. It's there, you know, I let's see, there's something I was gonna say. Woke up at 4 a.m. for 4 months to make business calls. Results. Lived in a tiny apartment. Trying to pay down debt really quickly. I started multiple businesses that crashed and burned. I moved back in with my parents. Considered becoming a gigolo to pay the bills.
Was there anything missing?
I feel like there was something that was very relevant here that I was gonna say, but I don't remember. Woke up at 4 a.m. for 4 months to make business calls. Worked 80 plus hours a week trying to grow my business. But whatever. I mean, this does the job for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was overwhelmed. I was doing a lot and I wasn't seeing any results. And it was that was one of the things that we talked about often. Like people heard me complain about like it's tough. Like I didn't always go into the details, but it was like it was rough. Um,
And here was my crappy journey. So wasted over 14 years trying every make money online strategy out there and failing at every single one of them. I spent multiple tens of thousands of dollars on books, courses, and coaching. I don't know the exact amount, and that's probably best because I would probably be tempted to kill myself if I knew the exact amount. I'm just kidding. I'm not actually suicidal. Although, no, I'm just kidding. I spent thousands upon thousands of hours doing the wrong things without really realizing I was doing the wrong things until after I did. And I'm like, why did I waste my time doing that? I give up more times than I can count, and I can count pretty well. So, just goes to tell you. And cried a few times, and I mean like the ugly kind, not the oh, it's so cute, it's almost funny kind. Like real, like ugly, like cry. I worked
it was
hard
very
and
ugly.
smart, and I still failed. Sorry?
I said it was very ugly.
um, and I may or may not have considered robbing a bank as an alternative to entrepreneurship. And I may or may not have done it. The fact that I'm in jail probably means I haven't, but you never know. I mean, I am traveling the world, so just saying. And of course, much, much, much more that you can fit on this one slide.
Mhm.
Now, who should do the easy way? Should it be you or me?
Um, well, if you just finish that, then I guess I'll do this. So we tried doing it the hard way, and we got to the point where you know, we needed to change something, and that was one of the things that we've started helping each other with the last almost 2 years now. We've been really refining like what do we want our lives to look like? How do we want it? How do we want this to play out? And so now, the way that we show up is we spend most of our work time hanging out, talking about random and stupid stuff. Um, we make it a point to do as little work as possible. Although we usually fail. I mean, we do really try to avoid doing stuff because it's really easy to get caught in the details of doing things and not knowing whether it's the right stuff. But like we just enjoy our time enough that we kind of get in flow and get in motion and do end up doing work that we end up not needing to do or realize that was a waste of time. But it makes it that much more fun when you're working because like you just can't help yourself because it's so much fun. Like, that's the kind of work that it doesn't matter whether it creates results. Like you're doing it because you just want to. So we laugh so much. I mean, we have so many we have we spend a ton of time together and we laugh so hard. It's only a matter of time before one or both of us poops their pants. I mean, it's we have literally talked shit about everybody and everything in our lives, including ourselves. And sometimes sometimes it goes a little overboard.
I just want to
But
mention, I love the fact how like I wrote this joke and you're the one who had to deliver it. Sucks to be you.
we actually work an average of 5 minutes per day. I mean, sometimes less. There are days when we talk for 6 hours and we don't do any real productive work. Um, but I mean, that's our process. That is what moves the needle for us. And if you're somebody who you get overwhelmed by doing like homework, like real tasks, when somebody, even when it's yourself, you write down a to-do list and then it like tyrannizes you when you look at it. You're like, I find every way in the book to like avoid it. It's like allow yourself to try not doing that because that's changed has changed things for us. We're way more successful than we were before. It's very bizarre. It's very difficult to describe how choosing to work less has created more results for us. Um, but we've gotten so much more done together, trying to actively avoid working. It's such a weird experience. Whereas like when you're willing to work, when you put in the time and you say, I have to do this, I need to do this, what ends up happening is all that creative energy goes to how do I avoid this? Whereas like we've kind of flipped it upside down. It's like, all right, we're consciously showing up. We're not going to do any work. We're going to avoid doing responsibilities. And all of your creative energy is just like, yeah, can I just like slip in some work here? And can I like solve this problem here? It's like, it's a funny paradox, but um, yeah, the amount of, and when we define work, what we're talking about is like doing something.
Hold on, you're muted.
That was weird. But yeah, what we mean is like if we're doing something that moves the needle in our business that is productive and it feels like a homework task, it feels like a responsibility or something that a boss made you do, that's the kind of work we're talking about. Like we do so many things like just for fun because like what if we tried this? And like that's what our life is like. It's just all play all the time. The amount of actual work or stuff that we feel like we might avoid, it's like it's 5 minutes a day or less. It's virtually eliminated from our
Yeah,
lives.
we probably spend more time making poop jokes than we do working.
Yeah. So it's and yet here we are. We've made like a kick-ass funnel, like this ridiculous webinar. Like I've gotten on calls with so many people in the last couple months, actually coaching and helping people, sold offers, gotten clients. It's just a weird space to be in where you're trying not to work and yet more things are happening than when you're trying to work really hard.
Yeah, and you're probably wondering like, okay, how is that possible? Well, that's why we did this entire presentation. That's what you're about to find out. So here are the three successes or the three secrets to our success. So should I present them since you're going to be the one going in after that and doing like all the
Sure.
talking from here on out? All right.
Yeah.
So the three secrets to our success are secret number one, you don't need to reach millions to be successful. So as you remember, or not, actually, I don't need to explain anything because that's what you're going to do. So yeah, you don't need to reach millions to be successful. Secret number two, it's easier to succeed than it is to fail. And secret number three, you can get other people to build your audience for you. So Aaron, it's all yours.
Yeah. So I feel like we should do, I don't know. I don't know what the, I don't know what you think. Is the standard webinar format to like show all three secrets before you unpack them?
I think so, yeah. Because we're just
Okay.
like mentioning the name, like this is the principle we're going to teach you, and then we go into details like, hey, here's the title, here's the description, here's the story.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of like the principle of tell him what you're going to tell him, then you tell him, then tell him what you told him.
Yeah.
Back to, I don't know, school.
Hmm.
So yeah, secret number one.
All right. So secret number one is that you don't need to reach millions to be successful. So let's talk about how to use real community to explode your business, even if you don't have an audience. Now, you might be like, if you came into this webinar asking, show me how to reach millions. Let me tell you a little bit of a story that happened to me. Um, Being seen doesn't always equal sales. Like
So I'm
if
just
what we did.
let me just interrupt. I wasn't sure exactly what to put on the slide since it's a story. We don't have any really bullet points. So
Mhm.
I put that, but I don't know if it's necessary. Like,
Yeah, that's fine. So let me tell you my story about why being seen by a large audience does not equal more sales. If you've seen uh, like Jen Gottlieb's Be Seen on TV challenge or her Influence Accelerator, there's a lot of people out there making a lot of money selling you on the idea that like they can get you in front of millions of people, and not to knock it. I mean, there are people who use that strategy um, to grow their business. If you have an established business and if you have a proven offer, getting in front of millions of people may be useful for you. But what I found is that being seen does not always equal sales. Um, I was um, I was fortunate enough to be interviewed and have work seen on um, the news, multiple news stations here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, which is in broadcasting. My degree is in broadcasting, so we call an area like Dallas Fort Worth a major media market. And all that means in terms of um, television numbers is that there are millions of households that are watching these channels. When they break down the numbers to measure who is watching certain times of the day, this is how they get television ratings. There's a company that measures the statistics of who's viewing, how many people. So the Dallas-Fort Worth area is a major media market with over 2 million households, which equals millions of viewers. And so I was featured on NBC and CBS, sharing a story that had it actually had national news significance. There was a fire that ended up being connected to a big national news story, and I was a student who was happened to be in the right place at the right time. I shot footage of the fire. I offered the footage to the news crews, and they were excited to have exclusive footage of this story of this house burning down. They interviewed me from my perspective, and because at the time I didn't understand sales, I didn't understand authority or how to build any sort of interest or credibility in a brand. Like I got interviewed on that for that story, um, and the part that actually made it onto the news was like a 2-second clip of me reacting to the fire, and my friends made fun of me for like 2 weeks after because it was just like it was kind of taken out of context of the conversation that I had with the news reporter. I just kind of looked like a kid who didn't know what they were doing. And I happened to be in front of millions of people, but because I didn't understand the value of that position of being there, I didn't understand how to make myself credible. Um, I could have gotten work from that gig. I could have plugged myself as a videographer. I could have walked into the news station and said, hey, I got footage that I shot on the news because I was in the right place at the right time. I know what makes a good story. I didn't do that. I didn't understand the value of being in front of millions of people. And so not knowing how to create value and not knowing how to position that in a short period of time. Like if you have a premium space in front of millions of people where you only have seconds to communicate something useful about yourself, that's a skill set you build. That's a skill set that you develop. And just being seen by millions of people does not mean that you're going to make sales. You also have to connect being seen with a message that people want to hear that drives people to your business. So if you know how to tell a good story that has a high conversion rate where people see you as valuable and they want to find out more about you, then you can start making more money. And that's part of what our program covers, is helping you have a great story that does that. But if you compare that experience with what I know about marketing now, after having studied it and having failed a lot of times, having run a couple of different businesses, having to work with clients, having to enroll people on the phone. Now I've had experiences where I'll write a post, and just from that one post, I'll get sales. I've asked one question and gotten $1,000 client from it, from the first person who answered. There's a certain efficiency and skill set of knowing what your audience wants that you need to have as a foundational skill set. And if somebody just shows you like, well, here's what you need to do for your business, it can make it so much easier. And that's what we want to do, is help you know, well, here's exactly what you should be doing for your message, for your business, so that you don't have to spend all of that energy, because that took me years to learn that skill. No, I was lucky enough to be on the radio, to be on television, and because my career has been in broadcasting, I've gotten other people in front of huge audiences over and over and over again. But the thing that makes people money is knowing how to communicate their offer in a valuable way. So you can be in front of millions of people, and it won't get you anything. But like we did a $200,000 launch and we got over 20 high ticket clients for this program, with a 30-minute Facebook Live that was seen by I think we only got in front of like 700 people. Most of them clicked off within a few seconds. But the 20 or so people that stuck around and stayed actually became customers. They bought in, they paid over $15,000 each, and some of them more. It was it was the process of knowing, what do you need to say, what story do you need to tell them that they're looking for, that helps them know that they need your thing.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm getting the impression that you're combining all the different aspects. It's like you're combining the story with the strategy, with the testimonial. So it's kind of like you're telling everything in one. So it's like you're telling the story and sharing the principles that they need to learn in order to make that happen. And you're giving example testimonials. So I think it's more effective if you segment them. So it's like,
yeah,
the story of how I discovered this. Here's the strategy of why it's important. And then here's an example of how this strategy helped someone.
All right, let me see if I can pull up my.
You're too good of a teacher. You got to stop that.
Yeah, I need to just focus on just the story.
Yeah, and this is fine. We're just practicing. So it's normal that we're not going to be perfect in the beginning.
Hmm.
Like I'm taking a step back, so I'm trying to picture like, all right, let's follow the structure of the webinar.
Yeah, I think
Because I feel like you're a
probably.
really good storyteller. So if you just focus on like tell the story from like, introduction and like, just be in the moment, be entertaining, be happy, like have fun, be you, and
Yeah.
just like tell the story. It's like, yeah, it's only after multiple years recently that I realized how dumb I was because now I can create a one question post and get
Hmm.
$1,000 sale from the first person who comments.
Yeah.
Just kind of like tell the story from this like an impactful story perspective.
Hmm.
And then you can kind of like share the strategy of like, hey, this is how it
Hmm.
works. And then after that, you're like, well, let me give you an example of how this worked for someone else.
Hmm.
And let's see what's after that. So yeah, it's just like review to make sure like, hey, did that make sense? Like, and then it's like at the end you can add in like, do you have any other questions? Like post in the comment. I want to make sure that we're clear before we move on. So where do you want to go from?
Okay. Yeah. So, I'll just really quickly bullet point summarize the story. So the story would be, um, I it was early in my career. I saw a great opportunity for a great story that I thought was going to be interesting on the news. So I I rushed to go get a broadcast camera. This was before phones had cameras. I captured the story on the site, and then I waited. I knew that it was going to be something that news crews were going to want. I ended up sharing my footage. I ended up getting interviewed, and didn't make any sales. I thought this was a great opportunity to be seen. And what happened was I was in front of millions of people. I looked silly. I felt invisible. And um, it didn't pan out the way that I thought it was going to pan out. I thought by being uh, providing value, by telling a great story, that was relevant to millions of people. I thought something good would happen out of it, but I didn't get a job out of it. I didn't make any sales out of it. I didn't know how to communicate value with that opportunity that fell in my lap. So what I learned from that is that I needed to learn some different skills. So I started studying marketing. Like what I studied was broadcasting, how to get messages out there, how to construct stories, but I didn't understand how to provide value. Marketing is a totally different skill set, and we had a whole separate program for that, which I didn't get a degree in. I ended up having to learn this after I was already an established filmmaker and producer. So I went through the process for my own business of learning how to create marketing. And we've been lucky enough to help 15,000 communities in our business, helping churches and pastors grow their communities. Um, but I had to watch other people who know how to market. I had to learn the things that need to be shared. And so if you contrast being in front of millions of people and nothing happening from it, I mean, nothing that I wanted to happen from it, um, I was able to get customers from a post that I posted one time. I got multiple people to raise their hand from it. I posted one question in a Facebook group and I got $1,000 client out of it. It's knowing what your audience needs to hear that communicates the value of what you do for them. That's that's what really moves the needle, and you don't have to be in front of millions of people to do that. If you have a network, if you have a community of people that know and trust you, you can put it in front of one person, and that person can become a client. So um, let me talk to you about how our program uh, helps you do this process. So we have a rapid launch strategy that we help you get a 5-minute Facebook group launched really quickly. And so step one is you've got to have a sexy story. Um, I had a story that had entertainment value when I was when I had my footage and my interview featured on the news. It wasn't a sexy story in terms of sales. It didn't show that I had any authority. It didn't create any credibility for me, and I didn't know how to leverage that opportunity to make sales. When you have a sexy story in marketing terms, it puts a face on your business. It helps people understand the value of what you do and the kind of transformation that you get them. So it attracts people, it draws them in closer to your business, and it makes them step a little bit closer to find out more. The step number two is you've got to have stress-free systems. So once you have a story that's starting to attract people, you want systems in your business that take zero effort, zero brain power to implement. So we're making sure that we're taking away all of the things that you need to do. You don't need to sit through, hours of teaching material. We're showing you the exact step by step that you need to do. What do you need to do today to make progress in your business? And it takes you 5 minutes or less. What do you need to do tomorrow? And letting you know so that you can kind of prepare ahead of time, those sorts of things. So that once you start building these systems that are going to be the foundation of how your business works, then when people hear your story and it starts to attract the right people who are going to be your customers, they hear that story, it's something that they want to repeat to people. They start inviting people. You have to build these things as processes into your business. And we show you exactly how to do that without creating any stress, without creating any overwhelm. You don't have to use any special software. It's not difficult. And this is something that I've had to learn how to do in teaching technical skills to volunteer teams, working with other professionals that I've never met before. In building my teams and my careers, like I've had to build stress-free systems over and over and over again. So that's how we're building this course, is making sure that the systems are stress-free. And then your business has to have a happy headquarters. If it's not a place that you want to be, you're not going to be there. And when you're missing from your business, people don't know where to go. When your business doesn't have you and it's not a happy place, people aren't going to want to be there. So when you're not there, it needs to be a place that people want to be anyway. So in the times when you want to take some time off, you've got systems that handle what you would normally do when you're there. You've got people that are taking on tasks. It's got to be a place that people enjoy being, whether you're there or not. And that's something that we build into this program as well, is like we show you how to build a headquarters for your business where when people step in because they're attracted by your story, it has a different kind of culture that they're not used to, that makes them feel like they're going to get the transformation that your business offers. It helps them feel like they can believe in themselves. It helps them feel connected to the other people in the community who are working towards being the kind of person that they're trying to become. So you build a headquarters where people feel happier being there and they're going to keep coming back. So here's an example of somebody who's been using some of the systems that we've been teaching. Marcus, he started. He has a group called Bigger Brands for Barbers, Beauty Professionals, and he reached out to me for help because he said, "Hey, I'm interested in building a community. I don't know anything about building community. I feel like it's going to be hard." And one of the things that he said is, there's one thing that I learned is, the people, the barbers, the beauty professionals that I'm helping, they're not going to sell a whole bunch of products if they don't build a community. He helps barbers and beauty professionals launch products online, both info products and physical products for their stores. And he understands that you've got to have community if you want to sell more. And when we got done working together, he said, "Hey, I thought this was going to be hard. I didn't understand what was involved in building a community, but you made it really easy." And so he's a great example of somebody who reached out for help. We got his group up in 30 minutes, and he felt like it was really easy to understand. He felt like he had a great handle on what to do next, and he started growing his group right away. He had an event within the first week or two, was able to invite a big group of people to it, and he's growing his group right now. it's not difficult to start building real community in your business. And the whole, I guess the thing that I want to connect his testimonial to is that this is a rapid launch. So it's like Marcus was able to get started quickly and he felt like it was really easy. That's the point I'm trying to make with this testament. I'm trying to help myself remember that.
Yeah.
All right. So does that make sense? So if you want to start reducing overwhelming, you don't have to be reaching for millions. That's something that's very possible with Facebook groups. Facebook groups will scale huge. There are lots of communities that have millions of people in them on Facebook, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to have hit that metric to be successful, to have made more sales, to get more clients in your business. You understand that reaching millions is not necessarily the great indication of success. I've been in front of millions of people. I didn't make any money from it. Now, do you understand that the quality of a community is more important than the number of people in it? If you try to grow your business, if you try to scale the numbers in your group up before you know who you're trying to reach and how you're trying to help them, you actually won't make more sales. You're just going to have more people in your group. And that's not what we want. What we want is we want to be making more money and spending less time on our business feeling overwhelmed. I just talked to somebody last night. Justin said he's one of the guys that I've been helping, and he said, "Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I want to do with my group because I've got a few hundred people in my group, and none of them are a good fit for what I'm trying to do." But you don't want to grow too fast until you know exactly what you're doing. And if that's where you're at, if you've made sales but you don't have a consistent message, if you don't know how to get the exact right kind of people that buy from you and that you can help get great results, you don't want to be going after millions of people, because then you're going to have millions of people who are like, I don't know how that can help me. You might end up with a group with a few hundred people in it that none of them are really your client. So that's why we want to help you get launched up and running with the right things really fast, so that you have the right kind of people in front of you that are the kind of people that will buy from you. So do you understand how powerful having an engaged community, like the people that are interested in what your business has to offer them, and how that can help you be more successful? Is everybody cool? Does anybody have any questions? Any comments? Any feedback?
Should we insert that as a bullet point? Like, do you have any questions, or do you just want to mention it?
Yeah, I can just do that. I mean, if we have real people, I'll probably be checking the, kind of just glancing around the room just to make sure people aren't lost or anything.
Yeah, by the way, can you see comments on your end? Because I'm like running this screen share in the PowerPoint. I can't really see anything from my side. Like, obviously there are no.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can have the chat up. Yeah, I can. Okay. I can have the chat up while we're going.
Because that would make it easier if I run the PowerPoint and you kind of handle the questions, since you're going to be the ones who are going to answer it anyway, since you're the expert.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think it makes a lot of. I think what I'll probably need to do is have each story outline on my phone, on my, or I mean, I guess I could do it on my computer. I'll just have this thing, instead of maximized for the presentation, I'll have, yeah, I could easily do it like this.
If you already know what you want to say, we can have the bullet points directly on the slide and you just have to follow that along.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, it could be on the slides too. That might be helpful. So maybe that's what I need to build on next, is like exactly what I'm saying with the stories, just so I'm not wandering and meandering.
But this is normal, like it's the first try. Of course, we're gonna perfect everything.
Yeah.
For this section, I think like at the end of every section, so if we go through the 3 questions, And then it's like, does anyone have any questions? Was anything unclear? Do you need me to go over anything again? If so, posting comments, like wait a couple of seconds. It's like, all right, no, everyone's good. Okay, let's move on to the next secret. And then we just move on from there. So kind of like close up the last one and then we can move on.
Mhm.
All right.
Okay, so secret number 2, it's actually easier to succeed than it is to fail. Now this is one of those counterintuitive things that may not seem correct, but let me share like how to build a quality audience in 5 minutes per day using a simple but proven step-by-step system. So the step-by-step system to building a quality audience really boils down to, is your audience being built with a highly engaged culture? So I want to talk to you about what actually engagement comes from. Every community is built around a value. Community is super easy to understand. It's just a group of people gathered around some sort of value. So think about fan bases. Um, they love a musical artist, or they're huge fans of a TV show, or they love watching this movie. Um, you got an instant community right there, an audience of people who are enjoying a similar experience. So that's one type of value, being fans of a particular form of entertainment. Uh, but you might have a community that's built around um, taking care of other people. That's what church communities are built around. You might have a community that values learning and improvement, education. That's another kind of community. So let me tell you a story about why the values that you hold are going to give you so much more engagement than hard work ever will. When I was in college, I was super excited because I thought for the first time I would be able to make friends. I grew up with a younger brother and a younger sister. They were born really close together, so they were best buddies. I didn't really have any friends my age, no kids on my street. I went to church with my family, and there were no kids my age at my church. We went to a smaller church. So I kind of was alone, and I was homeschooled all the way up until I went to college. So I never had a real, true opportunity to socialize with other kids my age. So I was excited when I got to college because I was looking forward to being able to make friends. And as a freshman, we had about 200 kids in our incoming freshman class. I made sure to introduce myself to every single one of them. I learned their name and I said hi to everybody. And I came away at the end of that semester with 0 friends. I stayed in the dorm that first semester, and I kind of knew my roommate at the end of the semester, and it just wasn't a good experience for me. Like, I struggled studying in the dorm. There's so much going on, like it was noisy, and um, I didn't understand how to study, and it was just a stressful transition for me. And I realized like I don't know how to make friends. I don't know how to connect with people. I've never really built that skill set. And so I went from being super excited to feeling completely lost. What am I doing? I have no idea how to. I was in college. I tried super hard to be friendly, to be interested in other people, and I was trying so hard to make friends, and I never really cracked it, and I didn't know what to do, and I ended up hiding away the last half of the first year. I ended up hiding away in my job at the TV station, just spending hours um, working on projects, um, becoming a nerd about like the process, and I never truly connected with anybody. So I just kind of buried myself in work. And it was the second year that I was in college that I really was able to connect with some people. And the funny thing is, I wasn't even trying. Um, I went to a film festival with a group of people because I saw this film festival advertised, and as a film major and a storyteller, I was like, that would be the most exciting thing that I could possibly do. And as a college kid, like you're already bored with homework. You're like, how can I get away from the school? So I wanted to go on a road trip. I wanted to go on an adventure. I wanted to go to a film festival and have that experience. And I thought, what better way to go experience a film festival than to like have a film screen at that film festival? So I went to the school. I said, hey, I want you to give me some money to go to this film festival. Like, can you fund this as like a school trip? And so I somehow got the dean to give us like some seed money to go to this film festival. So then I had to actually create an entry. So I got a group of friends together. We shot some short films. I did almost all the work organizing the projects, writing the scripts, filming everything, and then I just kind of let everybody in the group put their name on one of them, and we all submitted them. And then we were like, okay, the school gave us money to go on this trip. We don't quite have enough to go. We need to raise more money, but we need to actually have like a better way of getting into the film festival. So we called them and we said, hey, we have a group of students who are coming to your film festival, and we want to show a movie. We want to show something that we've made there. If we made a documentary of us going on a road trip to this film festival and show that film at the festival, would you be interested? And they're like, that sounds like a cool idea. Let's do it. So we got the organizers to agree to show our film, and so then we had to raise the rest of the money for the trip. So we created a documentary of us raising the money. We have footage of us renting the RV, and it was just a really fun, scrappy adventure. We brought a bunch of computers with us. Like this was before cell phones. We had to bring like studio cameras. We had to bring like like big studio towers and big monitors. Like we rented an RV so that we would have the space to edit the project as we were on our way. It took us like 3 days to drive out to California from Texas, and we had fun. We stopped and saw some like sightseeing tour kind of things and like film stuff, and then we had to like cram and rush and like edit the whole thing together so that when we got there, we actually finished we actually finished the documentary like the afternoon that it was screening. We got it there like 20 minutes before it played. And so but it was such an awesome experience. And what happened was the guys that went with me on that trip were lifelong friends. Like one of my best friends that I was at his wedding, he was at mine. Um, we still call each other and talk every so often. Um, he has gotten me married. Like he and I have made a point to stay in touch over the years. I've had my wife meet his wife. They've invited us to stay at their home with our kids. That's a big commitment. And it's like those guys that went with me on that trip are close, and they're important a part of my life because we shared an experience of something that was really valuable to us. We love telling stories. We wanted to go on an adventure. We wanted to experience something we'd never done before. We wanted to do something really hard that we didn't know if we would be able to pull off, and did it together as a team. And because I wasn't trying to make friends with people, it just automatically happened. It was because we built community around a bigger value that we all found important to us. That was what facilitated the relationships. That was what facilitated the friendships. So it was that process that helped me realize that like trying to make friends, trying to get a friendship or a relationship out of somebody is not how you go about making a friendship. It's just spending time together in the thing that they value. And so in your business, you might be trying to get clients. You might be trying to like get them to appreciate your community or your business. But what you actually want to do is build engagement around what are the things that your audience and your people value. And one of those things might be the kind of transformation that you help them get through your business service and your um, your program. But you want to facilitate that engagement, and that's what we have built into our 5-minute Facebook group system. Is you want to build that community culture around a highly engaged um, set of values, so that people are constantly talking to each other about the thing that your business is about. They're constantly getting excited about and talking to each other about it, so that you're not the one having to do all the nurturing. You're not the one having to show up and convince them of why they need to buy into your program. You you find a way to talk to the people so that the thing that's important to them is the thing that your business is about. So here's our quick connection strategy. These are the ways that we can help you get your community engaged more quickly. And it really boils down to the same thing that every successful community needs to have in place. The first element is safety. If your community doesn't feel safe, um, I I don't care what your community is about. Um, if people don't feel safe when they walk in your door, they're going to turn right back around and leave. It doesn't matter you can have a world-class experience, you can be providing tons and tons of value, but you have to first address people's uh, need and personal threshold for safety. So if that means not being called out as a new person, being singled out and asking them for their opinion, like how many of us have been in a classroom when the teacher calls on you? It's like sometimes you just don't want to be the one that's picked on. It's like some of us don't care. Other people don't feel that way. Other people don't want to be singled out. And so your community has to run in a way that everybody feels safe and knows what's going on, has plenty of clarity in what your community is about, and has the freedom to participate in the way that they want to. So the second thing is that your community needs to facilitate connection over and over and over again, but that connection needs to be experienced as care. I can connect with you over and over and over again about stuff that's important to me, but if it's not important to you, you don't really have any investment. You don't have any shared experience, and so it needs to be mutually beneficial. That connections are something that helps both helps people feel and experience care in those connections. So that's we're going to help you build visibility into your community. We're going to help you build opportunities for people to meet one another and to get connected, to find out more things about each other so that they feel more cared for in your community. And the third thing that every successful community has to have is freedom. You've got to give people the opportunity to say, you know what, this isn't right for me, or to say, I only want to do this part of the experience. I want to have the ability to contribute to the community. How much freedom are you building into your community? And so every successful community has some degree of freedom. There's a reason why Star Wars is a huge cultural phenomenon, and it goes so far beyond just great storytelling. Uh, the Star Wars story is a great example of the hero's journey, which is a story that everybody resonates with. It is a universal archetype for storytelling. But the thing that makes Star Wars special is George Lucas, from the beginning, allowed fans to tell their own stories about Star Wars without aggressively pursuing and taking legal action against people using the universe, using the ideas and the property, the intellectual property from his creation. And because other people had the freedom to play in that universe and to kind of create and imagine other things, it's spun off huge sections of the Star Wars business. There's a whole extended universe that is officially sanctioned parts of the Star Wars universe. There are different things that were built out that are considered to be canon or part of the Star Wars universe. And then there's just so much fan material that has been created, artwork, fan films, all sorts of things. Because of that degree of freedom, has made that property wildly successful. And your community needs to have the same element built into it, some degree of how do I, as the individual, get to participate and have some ownership in what's going on here. And that's a part of what we've built into our system in our connection strategy.
I feel like if you end these slides after you're done talking about the strategy, it's like, and now like let me give you an example. And that way it's like introduces the next slide. So it's like if you
Oh
just
yeah, that's a
whatever
good
you're
idea.
doing with something like that, then I'll know like, okay, time for next slide.
Yeah. Okay, so let me give you an example of a community that that models this really well. So Brian Campbell is an online coach who has a community that I absolutely love. I consider it kind of like my adopted community. It's the Freedom Initiative, and he has done all three of these things exceptionally well. So Brian Campbell, if you've never heard of him, he's a coach that I'm a big fan of. I've invested in spending time with his programs. I've worked on projects with Brian, and one of the things that's notable about him is like he's sold programs to people like Russell Brunson, like big major players in the marketing community, and he's a guy who has freedom in his business. Brian said, for me, freedom means taking the entire month of June off, which he just did when he wrote this, to enjoy a real vacation, still have an income while recharging my battery. This is a guy who does not have to work in his business because he has the right systems in place. He has the right kind of community culture built in. He's built safety into his community. One of his rules is the only rule that he has that's a real hard rule is be kind. He says that right out the gate. Anybody who's not kind in this community is out. And there's a lot of care that is experienced in Brian's community. There's lots and lots of coaching groups out there, and a lot of them feel like long infomercials and spam dumping grounds for people's organic ads. Brian's group is a place where you can post a post and be heard, be seen by other coaches, colleagues, people in your industry, and actually get real feedback, actually have real conversations with real people that are not there primarily trying to sell you, they're there to connect. And Brian has actually built freedom into his community because he has unofficially given the community to the members of the community. So anybody who sees the group as their group is welcome to post their offers in a kind way. They're welcome to invite people to the group. There are lots of people who welcome new members into the community and who go out of their way to like and comment on posts of new members who aren't connected. So people who there's not a lot of comments, not a lot of engagement, people will go out of their way to engage with those posts. It's one of my favorite places, and it's a great example of what a community looks like when it's built the right kind of culture, of highly engaged culture in it. And because of that, Brian is able to take time off whenever he wants because the structure of a successful business is there. that Facebook group still makes him money whether he's there or not. So, does it make sense? Your business can actually be easier to run than, or it can actually be easier to succeed than it is to fail. Your business can be easy to run. It's something that can be very simple, that doesn't require tons of your time if you set up the right sort of community culture so that the business, the people, the clients, the prospects that are a part of your business, the thing that actually makes your business run and make money, it's like that stuff is working and living and breathing without you having to be there and giving constant attention. Do you understand how, with the right community culture, with a highly engaged culture, how easy it can be to build an audience when you follow a simple and proven step-by-step system? So does everybody understand how quick it can be to build an audience when it just takes 5 minutes of work a day? So let's see. I should probably find a way to squeeze in a story about the transformation of consciousness group. But basically, yeah, inviting people to groups is very, very quick. I've got a group that has over 500 members. I spent ridiculously little amount of time. Probably spent maybe a week of 30 minutes, less than 30 minutes investing time in that, and had other people helping me build that group. Like, it can be really quick to build an audience when you're just doing the 5 minutes of work today. And it can be a lot of fun building an audience that because you're constantly supported by your peers, by your teachers. You set up a system where lots of people have a voice in the community, and it frees you up from having to be constantly on, constantly performing, constantly fulfilling or building in your business. A real community where people are actually truly connected and caring for each other and taking ownership in the community means that it can be a lot more fun to run your business. All right.
I'm
So
waiting for the wrap up.
Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. So let's move on to the third secret. How to get other people to build your audience for you. So if you've established a highly engaged community culture in your business and in your 5-minute Facebook group, then we need to get your audience to actually build itself. So if you may have to,
Yeah, we can tweak that if it doesn't fit.
yeah, we may tweak some. Let's see. Picture audience to itself. Okay. Once you write, streamline and simplify your business by getting your audience to build itself.
My brain's not working.
Your battery is low. Did I never plug in my computer? Oh, apparently not.
So streamline and simplify your business by
getting your audience to build itself.
All righty. There we go. That looks nicer. Oops. No, that's split into two. Hold on. Okay.
All right. I want to talk about one of my favorite clients, who happens to be one of my um,
Wait,
mentors.
when do you want me to switch between the introduction slide and the story slide? Because I've always been kind of like unsure exactly when to switch as you were talking. I'm kind of like, that now seems like a good moment, but it's like I'm not really sure how to do that.
Um, I think the introduction slide probably just needs to be um, like an engagement moment. It's like, all right, who would like to streamline and simplify their business by getting their audience? Like, I mean, I know I would. I mean, that sounds great. That sounds like, so we're going to talk about how to get other people to build your audience for you. Does that sound okay with everybody? All right, let's get our businesses streamlined and simplified.
And then you
So,
can switch.
mhm.
So
So just kind of like we're mentally transitioning them from whatever the last thing was like. Everybody understand with this? Okay, so here's what we're gonna talk about next. Does that sound good? It's like we're kind of
yeah,
low key asking for permission to move on, and it's like, are you still on board with me with this idea?
yeah, kind of like a question that doesn't need an answer. It's like everything good? Okay, let's do this. Yeah, sounds good. And that gives me like a trigger. So it's like when you ask that, I'm like, all right, cool, moving on.
All right.
And then if you want, you
So
can kind of, after that, I switch to this slide, and then you can kind of introduce the concept of like working
mhm,
less makes you more successful. And then once you're done with that brief introduction, then it's like, let me tell you a story, and then you begin the story. And I think that would work.
yeah.
Okay.
All right. So one of the biggest lessons that I had to learn was that working hard does not equal success. And a big part of the reason that I have hit burnout be and been overwhelmed in my career is because I was working really hard and not seeing results. I've been overwhelmed, time with lots of decisions to make, with lots and lots of options, and not even knowing what to do. But when you work really hard, you kind of expect that something, you're going to get some sort of payoff from your work. And the hardest lesson that I had to learn was that it's actually a really good way to kill your business and to prevent yourself from getting the outcome that you want. Um, the Probably the most disappointing part of my career is I had I had the opportunity to work on a project. It was my dream project. So I moved to California with the hope of becoming a director, and I spent a lot of time working for churches, working for nonprofits, and kind of in my spare time I would make short films with my friends. Um, I did a lot of projects where I just did everything myself. Like I would do, the writing. I would either film myself and act, or I would recruit friends to be in it. I would write the music. I would color the film. I would do the visual effects. Like I would do everything. And the stuff that I made, I had a lot of fun making. But I really wanted to do something bigger that I couldn't do by myself. I love sitcoms, and it's probably one of my favorite things because it draws a picture of community better than any movie can. The sitcom shows the idea of a chosen family. Um, every single week, you get to see a new aspect of how those characters relate to each other. And so I've just always loved sitcoms, comedy, and I wanted the opportunity to make one. And I was fortunate enough to be given the opportunity uh, to produce a sitcom pilot. I was um, I was in charge of producing media content, and um, I was given a window of opportunity where they said make whatever you want. And so I said, okay, I want to write, I want to make a sitcom. Like that's what I'm doing. So I was given carte blanche to make whatever I wanted, and I started working on a script. I wrote the script myself. I did all the production and organization. I directed it. I recruited everybody, um, and I did everything myself. And it was the hardest I'd ever worked. It was the happiest I'd ever been because it was like my dream project. And the problem was that I was doing everything and I wasn't listening to my mentors. I wasn't taking feedback. I wasn't listening to input from anybody else. I was doing it my way because it was my vision, it was my project, it was my dream. And because I didn't listen to anybody else, the project failed. We did a test screening in front of people and it bombed. It was a small section of the pilot that had been completed, and the people who were in charge said, "Okay, we're pulling it. You're done." And I didn't get a chance to finish it. I would love to have had a copy of that completed pilot. Like I would have assembled it myself and like just put the footage together. It's like I still have a heart for what I did. I think I could have at least made it sort of entertaining, like by like tweaking it and continuing to refine it myself. Because we shot everything, but the long story short is that I I destroyed my dream job project because I did everything my way and I didn't listen to any feedback from anybody else. I didn't listen to the audience that it was for. I didn't listen to the people who had the money and the influence that were paying me saying you should be listening to me. And I just tried to do it all myself because I thought I knew better. Working hard does not guarantee that you're going to succeed, and it definitely is the best way to burn yourself out when you're doing all of that work hoping that it's going to work out. If you're not doing the right things, it won't. So what I learned is that more than I mean, this isn't unique to film, but more than anything that I understand, film is a highly collaborative and communal process. You have to you have to do things with other people. There's no way you can do it all on your own if you want it to be good. And I've learned that in order to get big projects done, big things, you have to give people room to do their part and to let other people have ownership in the thing that you're running. And your business is the same way. Like there's no business anywhere that has made it without listening to their customers. And there's no business that functions without its prospects having some sort of say in the process, having some sort of involvement with your brand. If you don't have people who are paying attention, who are wanting the thing that you have, who are giving you feedback about this is what we want to see from your business, this is what we need to do. Like if you're not growing that pool of people who are giving you feedback, that pool of people who want the thing that you have to sell, you don't have a business. People are what make a business run. So how do you get your audience to grow itself? Well, I had a mentor who later became a client and a partner. But this guy, I watched him build an audience from a group of 18 people he invited to an adult Bible study. This wasn't like a kids class where the parents want their kids to be involved in church somehow. It's like this is like grown-ups saying, "Oh, we're going to get together and study the Bible." It's like you couldn't ask for a more boring topic. And he invited 18 people, and I think after that, he never personally invited anybody again. He let the group that was there say what they wanted to do next and started being involved in building the catering, and he built this out over a couple of years into a 400 attending weekly event. This thing was like bigger than some churches just for like a Bible study with like like a full buffet breakfast every weekend. They had over 115 volunteers every week. This thing was massive, and he didn't invite anybody after the first like 15, 18 people because he let the community say, "This is what we're doing next." When somebody was like, "Hey, have you thought about doing refreshments? That is such a great idea. Would you be willing to help with that?" And as the market would say what they wanted to see, he would give it right back to them and say, how would we do this? Tell me what you would like to see. Would you be willing to be in charge of that? And so something that I've had to learn over the years in building my teams is how do you give people ownership of what the group is doing? And that's how I was able to build out my team so that I was able to go on vacation. That's by watching people like this that know how to grow big groups of people by letting the group build itself. And that's something that I think I haven't seen a lot of people do in their coaching programs or in their courses is teach how do you do that? How do you invite people to co-own something and and make it their idea so they're the one going out there and doing the work and they're the one that's building it. So that's that's what we're going to do is 5-minute Facebook groups is helping you do less by showing your audience what do they need to do to invite people, how do they need to be sharing your sexy story with new people so that they know that your community is a valuable one for them to join. How do you help them, how do you help them know what your program does for them so
I'm
that
sorry, I'm just imagining like you giving the PowerPoint presentation for real, and then you just like randomly lick a lid. I'm like, yep, that'd be nice.
oh, we are doing the presentation. I
I
mean,
mean, yeah, but I mean, like
this
with
should
the
be our
PowerPoint.
pre-recorded webinar.
That's the thing. I'm wondering, as we're practicing, should we just stream everything on the channel like we normally do? So it's like there's gonna be like 50 different versions of the webinar, and people can see the evolution.
Why not?
No one watches anyway, so what do we have to lose?
Right?
Especially if we include the link to the
Mm-hmm.
product within it. So it's like we have like 50 videos selling our
Mm-hmm.
course on YouTube. And it's like if they get no views, who cares? If they get views, maybe we'll make a random sale from there.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. It made me laugh when you licked the lid.
Um, so I feel like I'm meandering in this story.
Well, I think it was good. It was a good combo of like mostly storytelling with a few teaching moments.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was pretty good.
Yeah, so I feel like this one certainly has the best like structure for the story. It definitely can still get condensed a bit, but like the so Roy was able to build out um, an adult ministry, which is an industry that's dying. Churches in North America are stagnant or shrinking. Most churches are not growing because it's a business where they're a little bit disconnected from what's happening in the rest of the world, what the market
Mhm.
is actually saying. And for churches that don't know how to really actually connect people, actually make people's lives better, actually facilitate real community, those churches are dying. They're going extinct. And what is the point of having a group of people who say we want to care for each other and make each other's lives better when that's not happening? If your business doesn't have that kind of integrity, you're going to experience the same thing. You're going to miss the mark when it comes to delivering on what your clients are expecting. And if they come into your group saying, I'd love to experience this, and they don't see that happening with people over and over and over again, they're going to leave. So, if you want to work less in your business, you need to teach your audience how to grow itself. I mean, if that's not something you want to go out of your way to learn, um, just use our 5-minute Facebook groups. Like that's exactly what we build into the system and how we, every task that you complete that takes 5 minutes or so to do, is building out an asset in some way, teaching your community how to do that. So, let's see. Should we move on? So here's how this works. Our empowered growth strategy is going to do. So step one, we're going to show you how to use our two herd framework, the belong to the herd framework, which builds in this desire to be there. You want to have people who, once they understand what's going on in your business and like what you do for people, they want to be there. They're in it for the long haul. They want to be a part of the movement that you're creating. And there's a process for that. Just like we show you how to build a sexy story that attracts red hot clients, we're gonna show you how you create a community identity that people identify as belonging to, and they want to be there for that all the time. So the second step is, you need to have constant conversion in your business. If you have new people coming into your community, how do you get them on board with what the community is doing? How do you get them indoctrinated and excited about the movement of the community? And you need to teach your community, how do you welcome new people in? How do you convert them to what we're doing? If you're the one doing that, that's a great way to establish a relationship, but that's a lot of work. That's a lot of overwhelm. So if you can get your community to do that on your behalf, then as soon as people are on board, all you're doing is waiting for the right people to say, I'm ready to work with you. And that's a lot easier to do when you have your audience working for you. And the third step is delegate and to co-create. So like we talked about, creating freedom, you need to build in ownership into your community. You need to find the right kinds of people who are going to help you grow your community. So we're going to show you how to invite and involve volunteer moderators, key community members, and we're going to help you create tribes that your members never want to leave. So if you can get your community to grow itself without spamming other groups, you can, if you can get more clients converted without lots of long posts or having to create tons of copy or email sequences, and create tribes that your members never want to leave. Like our mastermind was an example of the kind of community that we want your business to have. When we when we were meeting on a regular basis, like we cared what happened with every person that was in that little group. If you know how to build tribes like that, you're gonna have uh, you're gonna have a secret weapon that no other business is gonna be able to replicate. You're gonna have connection as a part of your business where those people are intimately connected in a way that they are not in other people's groups and businesses. Your community is going to be known for facilitating deep, lifelong connections. And if that's something that you want, then you should consider having our 5-minute Facebook group system in your business. So, does that make sense for everybody?
Actually, the next is the story,
Oh,
the testimonial, sorry.
okay. So the guy that I talked about that I watched and really started paying attention to learning how to get audiences to grow themselves. I went on to partner with him on a project, created a TV show around this community, and we shot a pilot series. He loaned me his camera. I used my own camera. We did everything kind of scrappy and shot everything for about 6 weeks. Put together a pilot series and produced it, and got enough funding for a second season. And then we had a team come in, produce that. But it was that TV series that we did that started getting bigger organizations interested in what he was doing, and he leveraged that 400 member community into a job where he now has 400 an audience of 4 million people every week on his TV show, Lifestyle Magazine, which is the only life coaching TV show aired on broadcast television in America. So Pastor Ice, one of the emails he sent me was like, "Hey, proud of what you're doing and how you're doing it." He's a best-selling author. He and I have started a business together, helping churches grow their communities, and he sold over 15,000 copies of his book as a result of some of the marketing material that I've created for him and the business that we've built. We've done kind of embarrassingly very little promotion, and yet our community has spread word of mouth, and we've been able to consistently make sales over and over and over again. I wake up to sell, every few days in that business, and like I do very little. We haven't really we haven't scaled with paid ads yet. We haven't really seriously looked at a scaling strategy for that because it's just it still continues to run. And if that's the kind of regular growth you want to see in your business, um, let's let's start getting you on the 5-minute Facebook group process. All right. So, does it make sense that you go and yeah? So, do you guys understand how easy building a community is when you have a clear group identity? So, okay, so I think this is a piece that I left out that I need to
I mean, I don't know. I just put these
weave into the
questions there because
story.
they seem logical, but you're the one who knows best what questions
Mhm.
to ask to make sure they got everything.
Yeah. So when I tell the story, that's why I should be telling the story. I mean, obviously it demonstrates the result, but like I can make the story do these things. So it's like part of the reason that so many people are involved in the mission of this class. Like there's like almost a quarter, no, over a quarter of people who attend are volunteers. there's a regular rotation, people who are on the roster. There's media volunteers, food volunteers, hospitality volunteers, mic roving volunteers. There's anyway, tons and tons of people who are helping put this experience together. Every single one of them is doing it because they have bought into the identity of this group. They've bought into the idea that they can make a difference if they just contribute a little bit. They bought into the idea that if we can provide a consistent world-class experience, this is worth inviting people to. And that's how they keep getting new people. There's so many people in that group that have brought friends, neighbors, relatives, visitors, new people all the time. That's how it grows because they believe in what's happening. And when you have a clear group identity, it's really easy to build a community. Do you understand how quick building a community is when you create a culture of constant conversion? This one, let's see. Do you understand how quick?
We can switch to a different question if it's better.
Do you understand how fun building a community is when the growth of your business isn't dependent on you? That's pretty straightforward.
So once again, like I just put whatever made sense
Yeah.
for me, but you're the one telling the story. You're the one who knows everything. So it's like whatever 3 questions you want to ask to make sure they understand what you're teaching, and at the same time to kind of sell like how easy, how quick, how fun, like kind of sell what they're getting, the benefits, if you will.
I think the way that I would make this, I would just swap easy and quick with those two, like make the quick be the first one. So if just the word, just the single word.
Oh, just the
So
word, not the.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
just the word. So it's like put quick in the first sentence and then easy in the second. So it's like people will get enrolled and on board a lot faster when you have a crystal clear group identity. So like the whole point of this webinar is like, do you want to grow your business without overwhelm? If you say yes to that, like we can get you into this training. It's a lot easier for us to convince you to sit through a presentation when you have a really clear, it's like, yeah, I want to be somebody who runs a business that isn't hard to run. I want to be somebody that enjoys running a business and doesn't feel overwhelmed running a business. Like that's the identity that we're trying to help people have. If we can get people in front of this with that idea, it's going to be a lot easier than saying, hey, do you want to watch my 45-minute presentation on 5-minute Facebook groups? Well, what is that? Well, let me explain it in 45 minutes. Like, you can get people to say yes or no if you have a clear identity. And then it's easier to build a community when you have a culture of constant conversion. Like if you have the things that people want, if you have the culture where the group is the one indoctrinating and sharing, saying this is why it's valuable, and you have you have the processes, you have the systems set up so it's easy for people to invite. You have that culture where they can convert new people to that identity. It can be a lot easier to grow your audience, and it's a lot more fun when everything is not on your shoulders. but you get to do it with a group of people who are all bought into the same idea. So does that make sense to everybody?
Nope, I don't understand anything. Can you restart from the beginning?
All right. Let me start from step one. Okay, take out your wallet, take out your card, read the first number, now read the second.
All right, so, all right, I'm gonna let you, because that's still your part. We're about to switch to my part, so I'll just let you finish that.
Okay, so everything that we've covered today so far is you don't need to reach millions of people to be successful. It's actually, we have a real community. So if you have the right community, the right people who want what you have, and you know how to talk to them, those people can be your clients. You don't need to reach millions of people. You need to reach the right people. And that's a lot easier to succeed than it is to fail when you're doing something with other people. If you're building your business with your community instead of trying to get people into your community and trying to sell them on your business, it's so much easier. And we've talked about how to get other people to build your audience for you. Once you have a clear identity of why it's valuable to them and you become the cheerleader for them, it's so much simpler. So,
Okay. I'm just wondering where we should switch from you to me.
I don't know, too much. So, yeah. So that's what we've talked about is if you if you're somebody who has felt overwhelmed in your business, I hope we've been able to get you to understand that you don't need to reach millions of people to be successful. You can grow your business consistently in 5 minutes a day and get clients who are the right people by having the right story, having the stress-free systems and happy headquarters that you can rapid launch that does not take weeks or months to do. And it's actually easier to succeed than fail if you have a community with a highly engaged culture, which is what we show you how to do. And if you streamline and simplify your business and get other people to build your audience for you, it will remove so much of the overwhelm that you're in right now. When everything is not on you, but you get to build your business with your audience and your community, you know exactly what they want and give them the opportunity to help you do what you're doing. This, how many of you felt like this has helped? All right. So Guillaume, what do you think? Have we kind of like given people a little too much to handle?
Yeah, probably. You may be feeling kind of like this. I just love that gift so much. I can watch it all day. It's very entertaining.
I mean, I'm the one that's been talking, and I kind of feel like that.
Yeah. But you don't have to. So let me ask you a question. By the way, actually, hold on. Before asking a question, let me go pee. Because I really need to go. Just mute so you don't hear me pee, and I'll be right back.
Should we build in a pee break? All right. So we want to ask you a big question. And before we do that, we're going to have a pee break.
All right. I'm just wondering, maybe you can like kind of summarize and then do the slide, but you don't have to, and then I can pick up. So I start next slide.
Mhm.
Like, let me ask you a question.
Yeah. So you might be feeling like this. I mean, I was talking the whole time, and I kind of feel like that listening to me. But you don't have to feel overwhelmed. Like that's not something that you have to stay stuck in.
All right. Let me
So
ask
how do
you.
we?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So how do we fire overwhelm from our business once and for all?
So that's how you're going to end it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you a question. How annoying am I? On a scale of one, no, just kidding. If there was an easy and fun way to do everything we just showed you, would you do it? I'm wondering if we should ask for like interactions. So it's like, hey, if you would want to like raise your hand or put like some like yes in the chat or one or whatever, like should we ask for interaction here? Or maybe this is just kind of like a rhetorical question, and then it's like, let us help you. Do we have your permission to share like an incredible offer we put together just for you? If so, just like raise your hand. Like, would that work?
I think I'm guessing here, but I think the point of having two questions is like the micro commitments. Like, so like if there was an easy and fun way to do everything, so it's like, well, the answer to that is like, yeah.
Obvious, yeah.
So it's like, because you're not asking to buy anything yet. You're just saying like, if it was fun, if it was easy, would you do it? It's like, well, yes. So now it's like, do we have your permission to share an awesome offer that we put together just for you
And I think it's important to ask for actual thing because like I've seen Russell
guys?
do like, hey, if you're not interested, like I don't need to tell you. That's okay. We can
Hmm.
just move on. It's like I want to
Hmm.
make sure you're interested.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's good. So that helps explain like the whole presentation we just did helps explain like how we think, like what we've learned and what we're trying to do with our program. So if you said, yeah, it'd be interested
Sorry,
if
let me
there was a
just
fun
try.
way to do this.
I'm just wondering though how to because I right when I'm doing the presentation, I can only see like two screens. Otherwise, it
Hmm.
blocks too much. I only see you and me, so I can't really see if people raise their hand, and I don't
Hmm.
have the chat up because it's going to be in the way. So I can't really see if we ask them to put something in the chat. So how should we handle that? Maybe it can be like, okay, do we have permission to share with you an incredible offer we put together just for you? Just raise your hand. And then you can be like, yeah, okay, there's people raising your hand. Like, I think they want to know
Hmm.
more. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I'm just like, how long do I wait? Do people raise their hands and they're like, why isn't he talking?
Hmm.
All right, so we can do that. So assuming at least one person raised their hand.
Hmm.
All right, so I'm sure you have some questions. So let's start there. First of all, what are you going to get? Well, this is everything you're going to get. And once again, can be overwhelming. So we're going to go through everything step by step. So first, no, okay, wait. All right, next question. Why did we create it? I think this is the slide where before in the introduction, after the initial story, you were like trying to explain. Wow, it was so
Hmm.
long ago, I kind of forgot what it was, but hold on, let me see what it says here. I'm trying to remember what was it that you were trying to explain at the end of the story in the beginning.
Um, well, it was something to do with like the mastermind um, experience of
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, so it's kind of like, okay, we created this because we didn't want anyone to have to go through all the crap we went through in
Mhm.
order to get here. So remember in the beginning when Aaron talked about the mastermind that evolved into a soul family, we want to help you be able to create that for yourself and for your audience. Yeah, okay, okay,
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Yeah. So yeah, so I think the idea there is like the mastermind story opens the loop. So we're saying, so why did we create this? Well, part of it is we're idiots. Like we felt like we needed to do everything ourselves, go through every experience. Like I wanna like do every single step and every single part of, you know, what all the people that we admire have done. And it's like we wanted to do all of it. And that was a dumb idea. Everybody in the marketing industry says like sell it before you build it. Just do the bare minimum, do the smallest amount of work. And it's like we're like, well, we don't know that that is the best way because we haven't done it. So we got to try it the wrong way to know that we need to do it the right way. And we're dumb. Like you shouldn't have to do that. And because we don't want anybody else to have to go through what we've had to go through to understand what we know now, um, we want to make it easy for you. We went through so much growth with our mastermind group, and it was really tough. It was really hard leveling up. And if we had been doing it by ourselves, at least for me, like I probably would have quit. I probably would not be the kind of guy that I am. Like I'm sitting here, I've had so many difficult conversations with my wife about, do we need to talk about divorce? Like, do you still respect me because I've, emotionally cheated on you or like looked at porn for 20 years? Like those sorts. I've told former employees that I've stolen stuff from their, uh, you know, from a church, for God's sake. Like, I've had to have really difficult conversations because I'm trying to become the kind of person who has radical integrity. That is not an easy thing to do. The only way that I was able to get through that and not let the overwhelm of that experience crush me was because I had a real community of people who were actually invested in seeing me finish it and seeing me succeed. And they cared about that growth that happened. The reason that we made 5-minute Facebook groups the way that we made it is like your business has to be normal. Your business has to make money. Your business has to do basic business things. So we have to get those things done. But we want to do that in as minimal amount of effort as possible. So 5 minutes a day, you should be able to commit to that. But we want to give you the bandwidth and the space to experience real community like we have. Because if you have a support system in it and a safety net where you've experienced other people who understand what you're going through, people who are building their business the same way that you are, people who are saying, I choose the identity of somebody who's not overwhelmed and I enjoy the business that I'm creating, like you can go through that experience with other people who are wanting you to win, who are supporting you and spending the time with you to figure out how do we do this. So we're showing you the bare minimums of the things that you need to have in your business, but we're wanting to facilitate real community connection in our program. This isn't just like a like a course where you do it yourself and like, you show up every week and we just ask, hey, have you done the homework? I've paid tens of thousands of dollars to be in programs like that. And I didn't love it. I didn't even finish them because I felt really disconnected from everybody else in the program. I didn't feel like I was on the same team. I didn't feel like anybody cared whether I made any progress. It was a very clinical experience, and it was tons and tons of material to go through. That's not the experience I want to create for people. I want something that's bite-sized, actionable, something that you have fun doing, and you have the ability to connect with other people in genuine, real connection and community. so that you can hopefully experience the same kind of transformation that we did in our small community. And once you've experienced that, once you've had that for yourself, I know you're going to want to create that and put that into your business. And if you have that built in your group, your business is going to be something special. It's going to be something that nobody will be able to replicate because of the kind of connection and intimacy that you foster. Anyway, that's the
That's the thing, you're very good at explaining things and teaching why it's important, but unfortunately, we don't have 4 hours to do the PowerPoint. So I'm just trying to think like, how do we compress what you're saying into, because the thing is, hold on, how many slides do we have? We have 81 slides. So we want like an average of maybe like a minute per slide.
Mhm.
And it's like, okay, slides like story slides, that's more like a good 5 to 7 minutes right there. So it's like that means there's other slides where it has to be like,
Mhm.
couple seconds. So we just need to make sure it's like we cover everything and everyone understands, yet keep it short enough that they're not like, I don't want to be here anymore. I want to die. So I'm just, yeah, wondering how much detail to go into. But I guess like that'll come with practice. So we can, hold on, let me just go back from here and just kind of go through it and see how it looks. All right, so let me ask you a question. What if there was an easy, fun way to do everything we just showed? Would you do it? Well, that's why we're here. We're here because we want to help you. So do we have your permission to share with you an incredible offer that we put together just for you? If that's okay, just raise your hand. We want to make sure you're actually interested in this before we move forward. So Aaron, can you just let me know how many hands are going up just to make sure people are actually interested in this?
Let's see. Looks like we've got 13 hands out of the 6 people that are watching.
Whoa, that's okay. Let's get going then. I don't want to keep them waiting. All right, so I'm sure you have some questions, so let's just begin there and move forward from there. First of all, you're probably wondering, okay, what am I going to get? Well, this is everything you're going to get. And I know it seems kind of overwhelming because there's a lot, we want to provide a lot of value, but we present it in such a way that it's very simple. You have to do it step by step, 5 minutes per day. So don't worry, it's not as overwhelming as it actually seems. And you're probably wondering also, why did we create this? Well, first of all, we're idiots. But also, because we didn't want anyone else to go through all the crap that we had to go through in order to get to where we are. Remember in the beginning when we talked about all the things we had to do in order to get here? And we just simply don't want you to do that. We don't want you to have to spend over 14 years trying everything and failing at everything before finding something that works. We don't want you to have to work 80 plus hours per week and feel completely overwhelmed. We don't want you to go through that because we went through it and we're like, okay, we don't want anyone else to have to go through this because it sucks. And also, we wanted to find an easy, simple, and fun way to build a quality audience. And since that didn't exist, we had to create it. Remember in the beginning when we were talking about the mastermind that evolved into a soul family, that's what we want to teach you how to do because we realized that with that kind of audience, not only is the process more fun and easier for you, but it's more enjoyable for your clients. They get way more benefit from it. And at the same time, you don't need to reach millions. You can just have a very small audience and make a very good living from that. And finally, well, we simply could not do it. It was one of those ideas that's so good that if you don't do it, you regret it your entire life, especially when someone at some point comes along and does something similar and you're like, ah, crap, that could have been me. So for that one reason, we're like, okay, we got to do this. You're probably also wondering, how will it be delivered? Well, the 5 Minutes Facebook Group's course will launch as a pre-recorded course, but we're currently offering a live scholarship version. The reason we're doing that is because we want to make sure that everyone gets personal attention and we can really get as much feedback as we can to make the course even better once it launches. So everyone who purchases the pre-launch or during the pre-launch phase will get full access to the 5-minute Facebook group course as soon as it launches, and full access to the live scholarship version, which will be delivered over the course of 5 weeks. Now, the live scholarship is a done with you service. So Aaron will go live with you every single day, except the weekend, because we don't want to overwhelm you. And he's going to walk you through step-by-step how to launch, grow, and monetize your Facebook group using all the techniques that he just spent the last 45 minutes teaching you. Hold on, before I keep going, I just want to adjust this so it looks nicer. Like this. Bigger. Good. Yeah, okay. And we'll both be available to answer questions and provide feedback as you go along the way. That way, you will not be overwhelmed. That is our main focus. We want to make this as easy for you as possible, as quick as possible, and to reduce overwhelm as much as possible. Because we've been through that and we don't want you to have to struggle through the same thing. All right, so what will be included? Well, here's a brief overview of the entire course, everything we're going to cover. So week 1 is going to be the rapid launch. That includes launching your 5-minute Facebook group, monetizing your group, and sharing your sexy story, which Aaron spoke of before. Week 2 is going to be quick connections. That includes start engaging your audience and invite founding members. Week 3, you get to co-create the culture. That's going to allow you to build the culture and sell the vision of the group. It's going to allow you to highlight members and shout them out and share what's wow welcome moment welcomes. I'm asking that to you, Aaron.
What's that? Oh, what are wow moment welcomes?
I'm not really sure how to explain that.
We'll just show you how to create wow moments when you welcome people into your community.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, week 4 is going to allow you to customize your system, and that means community assessments, custom strategizing, and resource recipes. What is resource recipes?
So like if you ended up needing some resources for what kind of things do I need to build that's unique to my community, we'll have some. We'll create resources for people based on what they need.
Okay, that makes sense. Week 5 is going to be daily growth. So you're going to have an invite system that we're going to help you set up, a warming sequence so that people can get warmed up once they join the group, and a 1-question framework. So there's also going to be bonus training, which is going to be a live exclusive that's not going to be available once the pre-recorded version of the course launches. So if you don't already have a group, we'll walk you through how to set it up step by step. Crap, I need to move the thing. I'm trying to figure out where to put the screen so it doesn't get in the way of the text. And I thought the bottom right would work, but it doesn't. All right. So we'll teach you how to create a sexy story so you have consistent marketing message that will attract people to your group. So that's the bonus. You can go ahead and do that training beforehand. That way, if you don't have a group yet, you can set it up and you'll be ready to begin at week 1. So that's everything we're going to cover. Of course, it's kind of overwhelmed right now, but we've structured it in such a way that's going to be very simple for you to go through it step by step. We're going to be pretty much holding your hand the entire way and just making sure that every single step of the way, you're doing exactly what you need to do. All right. Who will this work for? Well, as we mentioned in the beginning, it's good for entrepreneurs, especially overwhelmed ones, coaches and experts, especially ones charging a high ticket, anyone who wants to build an engaged community, anyone who already has a community and wants to grow and or monetize it, anyone who wants a consistent flow of clients, anyone who wants to have a positive impact in the world, anyone who wants to work less and earn more, anyone who wants to expand their business without getting overwhelmed, anyone who wants to simplify their business but still be able to pay the bills. And basically, if you're a human being or an alien, that's okay. This will work for you. All right. Should you present those? Because I don't know those stories and they work with you, not with me.
Sure. So just as an example of some of the people that I've had a chance to work with, like we're not people who are just like randomly putting together some made up things. Like I work with clients all the time. So here's just a few examples of some folks that have been kind enough to share testimonials. Like, thanks so much for completing all of this, helping us set everything up. I spoke with Bailey and Carolyn a couple hours ago with you. They absolutely love working with you. So had a chance to help the Digest Life podcast team get their podcast up and running, and they really loved the process that I walked them through, both when I onboarded them, when I offered to help them, and then we set up some simple systems, some stress-free systems, so that they had their podcast process and workflow set up. They were not technical. They're dietitians. They didn't want to have to worry about how to set things up. So that's how I helped them, is like setting up stress-free systems for them, which is what you're going to learn in this program, is how to set up your business with stress-free systems. So Leslie Schreiner is somebody who has she has an established brick and mortar business. She's been helping. She has a dog grooming business and helps professional.
Dude, you know what's funny?
Hmm.
If Leslie like attends a webinar, she sees herself.
Yeah. So, but Leslie has a business as an expert dog handler, and she helps people who have professional dogs with a purpose. And so she's transitioning into the world of online business. And so she's trying to figure out, like, I don't really understand marketing. I feel like I'm in kindergarten, and I feel like I'm down here and I want to jump to up here. And so she shared, after we had some sessions, she said, this is so totally worth it. Aaron articulated my avatar better than I ever had myself. I understand at least 3 distinct groups of people who want to enroll into programs with me. And we set up a community strategy for her. We're working on some marketing material for her. She's just super excited and feels a lot less overwhelmed in the things that we're helping her with her business. So, yeah, go ahead. Rebecca Beeson had a chance to look at her offer and help give her some feedback on that. And she said, hey, thank you, Aaron Weber, for providing great feedback on my emotional alignment weight loss offer just now. She's a coach, has been working in the industry, but she's changing niches, finding some other ways that she can help people, and ask for some help. And she was kind enough to share that she had a great experience.
All right, thank you, Aaron. So you may be wondering what happens if you don't have a group yet. Well, you don't have to worry, because you don't need a pre-existing group for this to work. We've created a step-by-step training walking through exactly how to set up your group, as I just mentioned before. So you can do it over the course of a week, 5 minutes per day, or in one sitting, which takes less than 30 minutes. And once you have that group set up, then you can jump into the course and really get started and do everything that we're going to be teaching. Mm-hmm. Plus, we've also included a ton of bonuses to make sure you have everything you need to succeed. We're even going to create bonuses on the back end using your feedback to give you exactly the tools you need to be successful. And of course, you're going to have full access to Aaron and myself if you need help with anything. And also, as we mentioned before, we designed this course so it's easier for you to succeed than it is to fail. So every step of the way, we're going to be there to encourage you, to support you, to have your back, to answer your questions. Anything that you need, we're going to be there for you. All right, so here is everything you're going to get when you claim your scholarship. First of all, there's the 5-minute Facebook group course. That is the pre-recorded version of the course, and you're going to get full lifetime access to that as soon as that launches. It's going to teach you how to launch, grow, and monetize your group. It's going to be presented in a simple step-by-step system. So simple, even a monkey can do it. Of course, don't worry, you don't need to be a monkey to do it. It works for humans too. It's also set up in a 5-minute like framework, so it only takes you 5 minutes of actual work per day. And I say work in quotes just because we've set it up in such a way that it's so simple that it sometimes doesn't even feel like work. We've also designed it to reduce overwhelm, so it's easier for you to succeed than to fail. I mentioned that right before. Feels kind of repetitive. Yeah, maybe I should remove it here.
Um,
Because it just feels like I said it so recently that it seems like I'm repeating it myself.
I'm okay with repetition. I would instead of
Okay.
just designing the course, I would say we've designed this around community so that it's easy for you to succeed better.
But then we have built-in community support after, so that would be repetitive.
Well, on the previous slide.
Oh, okay, okay. Uh, okay, how do you say it? We built it around community?
Instead of course, say we designed this around community.
Hmm. All right, there's also built-in community support. So you're gonna get, no, actually, I don't need to explain it because that's gonna be later on. So
Mhm.
built-in community support to make sure that you're supported every step of the way. Tried and tested methodology, as we explained before, we've been there, we've done that, we've failed many, many times, and we've come up with a methodology to keep you from going through that exact process. And much more that we can't include on the slide because, well, it would take 45 minutes just to explain everything that's included. Now, the value for this is $1,997. So this is what you get when you claim your scholarship. So for now, you have the 5-minute Facebook course. That's a total value of $1,997. Second thing you get is the daily live implementation. So this is the live version of the course. So you get 25 live implementation sessions with integrated accountability. So as I mentioned before, it's going to be given over the course of 5 weeks, 5 days per week. So you get the weekends off, you can live your life and not get overwhelmed. There's also going to be 5 live feedback / networking sessions. So the way we're structuring this is going to be 5 minutes of work per day, plus 55 minutes of just interaction. So if you have any questions, you want to network with other people, or if you just want to have an hour-long conversation about socks for some reason, we can do that. The whole point is to just be there and provide whatever value you need and get to know each other and have fun in the process. You're also going to get access to the recording of all the sessions in case there's one day where you can attend live, or if you just want to go back and rewatch something, you'll have full access to that. We're going to try to upload everything within the first 24 to 48 hours. There's also going to be a weekly catch-up session and a Q&A session every week. That's probably going to be on Saturday or Sunday. We haven't decided. We're going to check in with you to see whichever. Should we do that? I'm wondering, like, what day are we going to do that? Have we decided? Or I can just say on the weekend. Yeah, we can say like weekly catch-up session plus Q&A sessions. That way, if you missed anything or if you have any, I'm just wondering, do we need to include that if we're doing our sessions 5 days per week?
I'm not entirely sure that we should be doing an hour-long session every day.
Oh, we don't have to. It's just something we
I don't
discussed.
know.
Like, it doesn't matter what we do. I mean, I need to know so I can say it, but like we don't have to do it.
Because that feels like the opposite of. I mean, I think we need to do it in a way where that's an option if it's what people want, but I don't
It
think
could
we
be 15
say.
minutes. So it's like 5 minutes of training, then 10 minutes of whatever else you need.
I mean, the whole premise of this is like the time commitment is minimal.
Yeah.
So I would just say live feedback and networking sessions without saying how many it is and how long they are. Um, and then we'll just make adjustments based on what the
So
average
we'll keep the
comes
weekly
in.
like catch up
Yeah,
and Q&A
you can
session.
keep that. Because if the feedback and networking is like, once or twice a week, and then at the end of the week it's like, hey, if we have people who regularly are not, finishing, it's like, do we need to have like a weekly, like, all right, let's sit down for 45 minutes and finish your work. It's like, I mean, and we don't even need to be present for that. We can like, here's the assignments. Who's in that group? Okay, you guys meet at this time. Here's the event. It's all set up. It's like, hold yourselves accountable to do it.
All right. Okay, let me just quickly go back to the beginning and redo this one. So
Mhm.
the daily live implementation is the live version of the course. So there's going to be 5 sessions per week for 5 weeks for a total of 25 live implementation sessions with integrated accountability. So
Yeah.
Aaron's literally going to be there live with you on the call, showing you step by step exactly what you need to do.
Mhm.
There's also going to be live feedback and networking sessions. Should I mention sessions or just live feedback
I
and
think
networking?
I think the next bullet point should be recordings, like, because that's like the
Yeah, yeah.
very next thing people ask you. It's like, is there going to be a recording of this? It's like, I have such and such emergency, or it's like, hey, I can't make it today, or sorry, I was a little bit late. Is there going to be a recording? So if we just move that up to like, uh, yep, yeah. So access to recordings of all the sessions in case you can't attend live, live feedback and
Oh, damn.
networking sessions.
So should I just mention live feedback and networking or sessions?
I
Like,
would
is it networking
say,
sessions or just networking?
I would say, hmm, I would call that like networking and community support sessions. Because I think it needs to be something connected to like what we've been talking about, and it's like, um,
Because we did mention it here,
mhm,
built-in community support.
yeah. So like community support and the
Because this is
networking
like,
sessions.
because it's already implied like you're getting everything in the course. Like this is what's unique to the live
Mhm,
version of the course.
yeah. So just like live community support sessions, and then I think that makes sense.
All right, so let's go
Catch
back to
up.
the slideshow. All right, so 25 live implementation sessions with integrated accountability. You're also going to get access to the recordings for all of the sessions in case you can't attend live. They're going to be uploaded within the next 24 to 48. Why do I have so much trouble with that? I guess I just don't have to mention it. There's also going to be live community support sessions, weekly catch up plus Q&A sessions. That way, if for any reason you're lagging behind, we're going to help you catch up to the rest of the group because we don't want anyone to be left behind. We want everyone to succeed. So we're going to have that every single week. And of course, there's going to be much more included in this. The total value for this is 12,500. You're probably wondering why it's so much, simply because if you were to hire Aaron to do this for you, that is how much it would cost you. To work with him for 5 weeks every single day to set this up, that's what it would be. So we now have 5 minute Facebook group course plus the live version of the course, which is going to last 5 weeks for a total value of $14,497. Next, we have the Business Best Friends Master. That includes lifetime access. So no matter how long I don't need to explain that, that's obvious. Exclusive training teaching you how to craft your selling story. Remember that sexy story Aaron was telling you about before? There's going to be training in that and also in your members area, walking you through step by step exactly how to do that. There's also going to be feedback from the community and from us, because we're always going to be in the group, always trying to provide value and help everyone. There's going to be support from the community and from us. So if there's any issues you have, just post in the group, and both the community and us are going to be able to help you and provide feedback and answer your questions and anything you need. There's also going to be, you're going to be able to network and make friends, maybe even business best friends, because that's what truly transformed our lives when it comes to business and why we're actually successful now rather than being aspiring entrepreneurs. And that way, Aaron doesn't have to be a gigolo and I don't have to rob a bank. So the total value for this is $2,997. So here's what we have. We have the 5-minute Facebook group course, the live version of the course, and Business Best Friends Master. That's a total value of $17,494. Next, we have bonus number 1, Engagement Firestarter. So that will teach you how to go into any community and instantly create connections. It's also going to help you master the principles of engagement, pinpoint the exact topics your audience wants to hear about, and help teach you the framework for building a killer content calendar. That way you don't have to stress about, oh, when am I going to post tomorrow? You're already going to know in advance exactly what you need to do. That is a total value of $997. So here's everything we have. We have the 5-minute Facebook group, the live version of the course for 5 weeks, lifetime access to the Business Best Friends Mastermind, plus the Engagement Firestarter, for a total value of $18,491. Second bonus is the $1 Million Message. That is 500 plus handpicked, carefully selected examples of proven sales copy, which was the result of 22 plus years of research and study done by Aaron. By the way, Aaron, thank you for doing that. That way I don't have to do it. So that's going to cover multiple niches and help teach you how to leverage language that generates more sales. Because a lot of those were done from books. And the thing is about books, you can't really update them. Once they're there, they're there. So they need to make sure that their copy is actually very good. And that's how they're able to sell millions of books. So when you look at books, you can know that has been proven sales copy. Now that has a value of $297. Of course, if you counted all the hours that Aaron spent doing the research, it would be way more. But you know, if we're going to sell this, this is the price we would charge. Actually, did you sell this in the past, or was it only the year? No. All right. So here's everything you're getting so far: 5-minute Facebook group course, the 5 weeks live version of the course, lifetime access to the Business Best Friends Mastermind, plus 2 bonuses: Engagement Firestarter and $1 Million Messaging, for a total value of $18,788. There's also going to be 3 more mystery bonuses that are coming soon. So we're currently cooking up some extra special bonuses that you'll love, and we want to make sure we provide value. So the strategy behind this is we want to get your feedback so we can give you exactly what you need to succeed in your business. That's going to be a total value, minimum value of $497 per bonus. Could be a lot more, but that's the minimum we're going to provide. So you have the 5-minute Facebook group, the live version of the course, you have access to the Business Best Friends Mastermind, you have the Engagement Firestarter, $1 Million Messaging, plus all 3 mystery bonuses that are going to be created on the back end of this. That is a total value of $20,279. So I know that's a lot, that can be overwhelming. So if you had all this, and if all this did was eliminate overwhelm from your business, would it be worth it? What if all it did was give you a simple step-by-step system to take your business to the next level? Would it be worth it? What if it allowed you to reduce the amount of time you spend growing your audience? Would that be worth it? What if all it did was give you access to like-minded entrepreneurs you can learn from and partner with? Would it be worth it? Well, we had two options when we created this. First option, we charge the lowest price we could and try to get as many people to purchases as we can. Or option number two, charge a higher price and provide world-class results for a select group of individuals to ensure they actually get the results they desire so they can finally stop being a slave to their business and live the life they've always dreamed of. So let me ask you, how much, I'm wondering, should I mention like we went with option number two, or is that like obvious?
Um, I mean, we could, you could ask people, be like, I mean, which would you guys rather have? Would you rather us charge a lower price, or would you rather us charge like a higher price and spend a little bit more effort and energy helping you guys get the results? It's like, charge a lower price, and then it's like, well, lucky for you, like this is a $30,000 value, and we're only charging $1,000. I mean, I don't know. It could, I have no idea. Like, I mean, I think it'd be interesting to get people's feedback. It's like, what are they interested
Ooh, that could be fun. Yeah, kind of ask. Before we keep going, let me ask you how, no, because that's what this one is about. So we don't, that like, here's where we're literally asking for their feedback.
in? Yeah, so it's like, charge the lower price, charge the lower, or or it's like whatever they say. So you're like, okay, well then can we let me ask you, like, how much is a highly engaged community worth to you?
Yeah, we could literally ask him like, would that be worth 1,000, 5,000 more? Like in the chat, just post how much you think this would be worth to you. And then we can actually have their interaction there. All right, so let's do that.
Yeah.
All right, so, option number two, blah, 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 blah. So how much is a highly engaged community worth to you? Let's say this, for some reason, didn't work and all you got was one extra high client ticket per month. And all it took you was 5 minutes of work per day. How much would that be worth to you? Would it be worth 1,000, 5,000 and more? Like, I'm curious. Just go in the chat right now and let us know, how much do you think this would actually be worth to you? So just answer this question. How much would you pay for your own highly engaged community? Aaron's paying attention. He's just going to check and he's going to tell me how much people are willing to pay. So we have an idea, because we want to make sure we provide value and people don't feel like they're getting ripped off, but at the same time, they invest enough that they're willing to do the work. Because if you don't pay a lot for something, you don't value it, you don't do the work, and you don't get the results. So how much would you pay for your own highly engaged community? Aaron, what are the numbers?
The numbers, two.
$2. Wow. I was expecting a little more, but okay. Anything else?
2,000.
Okay, that makes more sense. Because I mean, hey, if we're selling this for $2, like I want to buy this right now. All right, so we considered charging $10,000, but we realized the people who actually need our help the most couldn't afford that. So we decided, you know what, let's drop down the price to 5,000. But once again, we're like, that's still too high for some people. So we decided to do something completely crazy and charge only 10% of the total value. So the launch price for the pre-recorded version of the course, that's not the launch version, the pre-recorded version of the course is going to launch for $1,997. However, this is the scholarship version. So we wanted to make this an absolute no-brainer for everyone who's serious about crushing their online goals this year. So we're doing something extra special just for you. If you claim your scholarship today, all you pay is one easy payment of $997.
Go back 2 slides. So this slide has bothered for a while. this like the crushing their online goals just feels like it's out of alignment with the particular
Oh, I
audience that,
literally just copied and pasted the thing you sent me, but
yeah.
yeah, we can switch it.
So I would say,
Serious about building an
um,
engaged community.
yeah, a highly engaged community. Yeah, that
With
feels,
zero overwhelm.
yeah.
So I might need to change the size. Damn. Trying to make it look nice, but there. No. Let's center that. Hold on, let me just readjust the animation. All right, but because this is the scholarship, scholarship version, so I wanted to make this an absolute no-brainer for anyone who's serious about building a highly engaged community with zero overwhelm. So we're doing something extra special just for you. If you claim your scholarship today, all you pay is $997. In case you were wondering, that is a 95.08% discount. Or if you prefer the nerd version, $20,279 times 4.92% equals $997. However, there's a special limited time offer. We wanted to help you move forward as quickly as possible. So if you're on the fence, here's a special limited time offer just for you. If you claim your scholarship within the next 60 minutes, we'll throw in 2 exclusive fast action bonuses. Fast action bonus number 1 is a 90-minute selling story call with Aaron. Don't worry, you're not going to be speaking to an actual chimp. It's going to be Aaron on the phone. I just use that to illustrate the point that everything we're doing, we structured in such a way that it's so easy that a monkey can do it. And there's literally a monkey right there. So what are you going to get? You're going to get the 90-minute one-on-one call with Aaron, which will leverage his 20+ years of experience finding and creating stories. You're laughing at the monkey, aren't you?
Yeah.
I know he keeps distracting me too, but I love him so much. It's funny
Instead
because
of,
he's more professional than us. He's wearing a tie. You wanted to say something?
I wonder if it would be worth combining our storytelling experience, like, are leveraging our like 35+ years of, crafting world-class stories. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I started writing my first book when I was 15. I'm 32, that's 17 years.
There you go.
And you have 20? Or is that like an approximate number?
Yeah, it's 20.
All right,
I mean, yeah, I mean, I've been writing stories since I was a kid, but like that was the first film that I created. This was when I was 15, so sure.
all right. So you get a 90-minute one-on-one call with Aaron, where you get to leverage our combined 37+ years of experience crafting great stories. And you get to receive immediate feedback. So by the end of the call, you're going to have a completed sexy selling story you can use in your group as soon as you create it. That is a total value of $997. So then here's everything you get with the new bonus. So the 5-minute Facebook group course, the 5-week live version of the course, lifetime access to the Business Best Friends Mastermind, plus the 2 bonuses, Engagement Firestarter, plus $1 Million Messaging, all 3 mystery bonuses we're going to create on the back end of this challenge, and the fast action bonus number 1, the 90-minute selling story call with Aaron. That is a total value of $21,276. Second fast action bonus is a chance to win the done for you version of the course. So this is what you're getting. You're getting a chance to win the done for you version of the course, and your odds of winning are 1 in 12 or better. We're going to get to that soon enough. What Aaron's going to do for you is he's going to launch the group for you. He's going to monetize the group for you, and he's going to share your sexy story that he helped create with you to your audience. So the reason why it's done for you in quotes, because obviously he can't do everything for you. He doesn't have access to your contact list, so he can't go in and invite people to your group. So there are certain things that he can't do for you, but everything that he can do for you, he will do for you. So the value for this is $12,500, because once again, if you were to hire him to do this for you, that's how much he would charge.
I don't feel like people need to hear what like I won't do. Just need to talk about like, this is what you're gonna get.
Okay.
That's just kind of like,
Yeah.
it feels a little bit like, so why are you telling me that he won't do that stuff?
All right, so here's everything you're going to get. You get the 5-minute Facebook group course as soon as that launches. You get the live version of the course. You get lifetime access to the Business Best Friends Mastermind. You get the Engagement Firestarter, $1 Million Messaging, all 3 mystery bonuses created on the back end, plus the 2 fast action bonuses, the 90-minute selling story call with Aaron, and the chance to win the done for you version. That is a total value of $33,776. Oh, and so once again, in case you were wondering, that is a 97.05% discount, or the nerd version, 33,776 times 2.95 equals $997. So now it's finally time for you to claim your membership. Now that we've covered everything you're going to get, just go to this URL to claim your membership. So it's 5minfbgroups.com. So 5minfbgroups.com/order. Go there and you're going to be able to. As soon as you go there, the timer is going to begin. No, wait. I haven't talked about the timer, have I?
Nope.
No, okay, so I should not say that. Okay, so now you have 2 choices. So option number 1, you do nothing and absolutely nothing changes. You'll continue being overwhelmed. You'll continue struggling with the things you've been struggling with. Option number 2, you believe in yourself. You take a leap of faith, reclaim control of your business, your life, and your freedom. We believe in you. Now it's time for you to believe in yourself. There's also a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if for any reason you're not 100% satisfied with your purchase, just contact us within 30 days and we'll issue a full refund, no questions asked. But there is limited availability. As we mentioned before, we wanted to provide quality for the people we're helping, so we've limited this to 12 spots in the group. And as soon as the 12 spots are gone, you're no longer going to have access to that. So you need to make sure you act now, because otherwise you may not be able to get in later. So you may be wondering, why are we doing this? Well, as I was just saying, it's like we want to make sure we provide world-class results and hands-on attention to everyone who claims their scholarship. So we're limiting the number of available scholarships. Yeah, I guess I didn't need to say what I said in the beginning. But you must act now. The fast action bonuses are only available for a short time. And I don't know why this is bugging me, but I set it up so the timer appears at the same time as the second one, but for some reason it's not working. Anyway, it's not a big deal. So the timer will begin as soon as you visit the page right down here, and you'll have 60 minutes to claim your fast action bonuses before they expire forever. If they expire, You can still have access to everything else. You have 60 minutes from the moment you visit the page in order to claim those fast action bonuses. So once again, here's everything you're going to get once you order. You get the 5-minute Facebook group course as soon as that launches, the live version of the course, which will be taught over the course of 5 weeks, lifetime access to the Business Best Friends Mastermind, plus the 2 bonuses, Engagement 5-Starter and $1 Million Messaging, and all 3 mystery bonuses that we'll create on the back end of it. You'll also get your 2 fast action bonuses, the 90-minute selling story call with Aaron, and a chance to win the done for you version for a total value of $33,776. But once again, all you pay is one payment of $997 as long as you purchase now within the next 60 minutes. Now, while you go ahead and do that, Aaron and I are just going to stay here. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them. If you have any comments, anything, now's the time to share it. But just make sure that you don't waste too much time because you have 60 minutes. So we're just going to be here, do what you have to do, ask us any questions, and that's about it. So Aaron, if there's anything anyone needs help with, just let us know and we'll answer. So yeah, that's pretty much it. There's just one thing I noticed I want to go back to fix. Yes, there. All right. So I just need to fix this. I think we have everything. The only thing is we need to condense everything like a crap ton. Because now it's 12:30.
Yeah.
Just like a good 3 hours. Like, of course, we paused to like talk through things, but I feel like we do need to make things shorter.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. You want to try and do it from the top and see like how fast we can get through it, or do you want to take a break and maybe pick it up again tomorrow?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe like, nope, I don't know why it's still doing that. So I guess I think if we do it today, it's just going to be too overwhelming. Like we already went through it. So I think just take a day to kind of like let it sink in. And tomorrow we can come back in and be like, all right, let's start a timer. Let's not like pause to talk. Like let's literally pretend people are there and we're giving this presentation. Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna fix this and then we'll be good. Animation. So it's still, I don't get it. It's still doing the same thing. Anyway, whatever. It's just like one extra click for me. I just don't understand why it's doing that. All right, so I can stop sharing. Yeah, we did a few modifications. So I'll just save this and upload it to the 5-minute Facebook group drive. That way we'll have the latest version on there all the time. All right, so yeah, it's still not perfect, but we're getting way closer than we were before.
Yeah, I think we have the bare bones there where even if we're just winging it for the first 3 or 4 times, like all the information is covered. And since we're doing it live, like we'll see like are we losing people, like we can speed things up or we can like slow things down to answer questions.
Yeah, and we can.
I think now it's just a matter of like knowing what stuff do we cut, what stuff do we leave based on what people really respond to.
And I feel like knowing us, we're going to need to cut way more than we're going to need to add.
Probably.
Because like we can talk for 6 hours and we've done it in the past.
Yeah. Well, I feel pretty impressed with what we've been able to pull off.
Like what I'm not impressed by is how much I suck now at presenting. It's like I haven't done this sort of thing for a long time, and I'm just like babbling and like stuttering and crap. And I'm like, wow, I used to be good at this. Now I suck.
I kind of felt the same way. I feel like I'm like I can take, 10 minutes to say what I could have said in 30 seconds.
But I think that's the whole point of this. It's just we keep practicing.
Hmm.
It's kind of like, I mean, I don't know if you've ever given like speeches where you practice a lot beforehand because you have like a limited amount of time.
Hmm.
It's like in the beginning, you're like, this sucks so much. And then you get to the end, you memorize it almost by heart. And it's like, even though you've practiced enough that it comes out smooth and genuine and like normal, you know exactly what's coming next. So you don't have to think, you don't have to stress, you're just like in the moment.
Hmm. Yeah, eventually we'll get there.
Plus, no pressure, but the first one you're going to be on your own. And maybe the second one too, unfortunately. It's just ironic how it's like, first one, oh, I can't, I got a date. Second one, oh, I can't, I'll be moving.
Yeah, that's all right. So, what do you think about this? Should we make the no, I don't know. I, no, I think right now let's just try what we have before we really change anything.
Okay, but
Whew,
what were
it's a
you
lot of.
thinking of suggesting? I'm just curious.
I was thinking about reordering some of the pages in the funnel.
Hmm.
I was thinking about putting the order page as like the first, like the home landing page, but like that's not really how most funnels are set up. So never mind.
No, although I've seen something similar done. I forget exactly how it was. I think it's more for automated webinars where there's like a warming sequence
Hmm.
of videos, and it's like at the end of that warming sequence, there's like a link to purchase immediately. So people can purchase the webinar before they even, like the product before they even attend.
Hmm.
And it's like I've seen, I forget who it was, but they were explaining that, like they do that, and they're like, it's such a cool feeling when you give the webinar and you're like, I already made sales.
Oh, oh, I'm tired.
Yeah, this was like mentally draining. And you did most of the talking, so
But I mean, I feel like at this point, this is like the easy stuff. It's like all we have to do is like connect with like one new person every day and just invite people to that webinar every single week. And it's like, we do that. We're just talking from now on. It's like we've built all the structure of how we need, what we need to collect money.
yeah, and I feel like
So,
once we're a little more like once we go through the presentation a couple times and we get comfortable with it, we'll be more relaxed and we'll be ourselves and we'll start like making jokes and having like back and forth and stuff like that. Because right now it's very like more rigid and structured.
yeah,
But I just know us. It's like, all right, in like a couple of weeks, we'll just be having fun with this.
yeah, this is cool.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess we should go enjoy the day now.
All right, sounds good.
This was our
This is
5 minutes of work per day.
this has been fun, man.
It
Looking
has.
forward to it.
I'm really looking forward to that first sale. Not because it's about the money, just because it's like, all right, this is finally working.
Hmm.
All right, well, I guess, yeah, all you need to do is reach out and start inviting people to the webinar.
Yeah.
So you
All
have
right.
all the, I mean, all the link you need is the 5minutefbgroups.com. So
Hmm.
should be pretty simple.
Cool.
Let me just double check the to-do list to make sure there's nothing else we need to do. I think we're good, but I just want to check.
Hmm.
Yeah, all we need to do is practice, and once the engagement Firestorm is done, just give that to me. I'll upload it to the members area, and then everything will be done.
Hmm. Cool.
All right. Let me know if there's anything else you need from me, because at this point, aside from practicing, there's not much for me to do.
Yeah. Um, the only thing I for sure need to really get done is I need to go back through the call I did with Leslie and put her information into the graphic spreadsheet that I told her I was going to make for her.
Hmm.
I need to do that before Friday, but that's the only like big deadline thing I have to do. So
All right, sounds
as long
good.
as I do that and start making some progress on the engagement Firestorm, it's like we're in good shape. Just need like one foot in front of the other. Keep putting this in front of people.
Hmm. I'm just thinking, I feel like a question that's probably going to pop up because we didn't address it is when is this? Like it's a live thing, like when does it start?
September 11th.
That seems like a bad idea. Like why is September 11th? That seems like a really bad idea.
I don't know.
Okay. Let's celebrate 9/11 with 5 minute Facebook groups.
We can do September 12th, which is a
Well,
Monday.
I mean, I think
So
we can just say like, hey, we want like we're gonna wait until we have all 12 people
mhm,
because we want to have that community to be able to help each other, to support each other.
mhm,
So there is no official date right now. It could be in a couple of weeks, maybe
mhm.
a month, depending on how long it takes us to, you know,
Well, I think we can have set a launch date, but we'll like the urgency is there's only 12 spots.
yeah,
So if you want, if you want to be in it in the live version where you get extra access to us and some extra bonuses, like we only have room for 12. So if we do this like end of September and then just promo it like crazy for the next month, like we should be able to get.
yeah, I feel like we don't need a specific date right now. It's more like if people ask, we need to be ready. And I think we can just say like, we don't have an exact date right now. It's
Yeah.
probably going to be around this time. We just want to make sure that
What's the
we,
20th look like?
hmm?
What's the 20th look like on the calendar?
Ah,
Then it'll be like a 90-day launch window. Be like we from start to launch 90 days.
oh yeah. What if this is our goal? We run the live version of this as many times as we can. So it's like every time we have 12 people, we start a new group
Hmm. Hmm.
and we just run this until the end of the year. And at the end of the year, we'd probably be ready to launch the actual pre-recorded version and automate the webinar.
I'm cool with that. Yeah, let's try it. Let's see how many
So we
people
can
we can
shoot
get
for that,
into.
and then we can see like, okay, if we're not ready, we can do it later, but we can aim
Hmm.
for that.
Yeah.
I'm just, I have no idea what to expect because we could be like, all right, we're gonna make like 6 sales and we each make 3,000. It's like, okay, cool. It's way more than we made. But it's like, are we going to make 10 sales, 20 sales? Like,
That's
I don't know what to
literally
expect.
the 20th is literally 4 weeks from today. So if we just, I mean, like I said, like if we meet one like good person a day, like have a conversation with one person a day, and then hey, I'm doing training Thursday, Tuesday, whatever. Would love to have you come
Yeah.
and give me your feedback. So like if we show this to 30 people, like the odds that we get 2, 3 clients from it are really good.
Yeah.
So
Especially, I feel like there's a bunch of people that you've helped in the last couple months that are already pre-qualified.
oh dude, the people we should be targeting are people who have communities because we can do this in their group. I'm trying to think. I'll have to let this simmer for a minute, but it's like if we're reaching out to people who have communities who want to like streamline how they're running their community, and want to make more sales consistently from their community. Because I know there are people who like they've been inviting people to groups. They love like chatting and hanging out with their people, but they don't have the strategy of I'm not making any money from like why am I building a group? They just know they're supposed to build a group and they're doing it, but like
Yeah, that could work. And I feel like once this officially launches, like not the pre-recorded, but like the
mhm,
pre-launch version of it launches, that's just going to be our job. It's like, all right, let's
yeah,
try different strategies. Let's see if we can find partners who like have a group and they're like, hey, can you promote this to your audience?
mhm,
And it's like, if we find good partners, we could make
yeah,
like a dozen sales from like one presentation.
yeah. Huh.
Also, once I think we've given it a couple times, we're like, all right, we're confident enough, it's good quality. Then we can go out and start like finding partners, approaching groups. And also from the past business, there was um two email like letter, I forget what they're called, promo, no, solo ads. There we go. There's two
Mhm,
solo ads that got canceled and I got credit for it on the website and I can't get a refund, so I need to use it.
mhm,
So once we're at the point where it's like, all right, we could try testing cold audience.
mhm,
Like I'll just try to find, whatever audience seems the best fit for this and just
yeah,
send the traffic there and see what happens. Like, hey, if we make a sale, cool. If we don't make a sale, who cares? At least I already have that I'm not using.
yeah. Okay, I'm thinking about a
Dance, interpretive
strategy.
dance.
I wonder if there's two tiers of people.
The left tier and the right tier.
So one is somebody who wants to launch a community. This course is good for them. For somebody who has an existing community, I wonder if we could, like, they have a group and they have a VA, and we give them, like, we present this thing to them, and then it's like, will part of the deal is it's like this will help streamline your business, but like part of the offer is will help engage your group. And the way that we engage your group is we present a version of this to your group.
Yeah, we could always like I think for now, maybe just focus on one and perfect that. And then once we're like, okay, that's good, we may be able to
Mhm.
like automate that and then
Yeah.
create another version where it's like we target a different audience with a different like hook. And then we test that. And once it's perfected, all right, we automate that one. And then we do that for different audiences. That way we can have
Mhm.
like 3 or 4 different entry points. And the
Yeah.
presentation is different, but the course is exactly the same.
Hmm. Yeah. I'm thinking about this.
Like that's the thing. We're setting up the business, and then it's just a question of perfecting one funnel,
Yeah.
then like copying that and like changing a few things
Hmm.
to target a different audience, perfecting that one. And it's like if we do that
Hmm.
3 4 times, like we could have multiple $1 million funnels for the same
Hmm.
product.
Yeah.
Because I feel like what would work really good, really well for cold traffic is running ads targeting people with you don't need to pay for traffic.
Hmm.
There's an easier way to do it.
Hmm.
Attend our free training showing you how to do that.
Yeah.
And our solution is use a free Facebook group. So use Facebook, but for free. You don't have to pay for ads.
Yeah. All right. I feel like I'm done for the day.
Yeah, I think our brains are destroyed enough for one day.
All right. Well, we'll see you later, man.
All right. Enjoy your day. And I hope you're 100% tomorrow or 99.99%, whichever one you prefer.